The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
NFL insider Jason La Canfora wrote a story that Woody Johnson is already eyeing Mike Tomlin to coach the New York Jets. We'll talk about how real this could actually be and much more. I'm live at Circa in Las Vegas. Omari Brown's going to join me. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
We sitting in here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Let's go! A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everyone. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show, our only live show on the day. I'm excited to be at Circa Las Vegas for their annual contest weekend. Our coverage from Circa's Media Row will start tomorrow, so check back in the morning and the afternoon for some content from the Radio Row. But we got some Jets news to discuss, a lot to get into, and we say hello to our guy who normally joins us Wednesday morning. Today, it's Wednesday afternoon. It's Omari Brown from JetX. Omari, how we feeling?
Feeling great. Asman in the afternoon, man. Feels good.
We're in Vegas, man. We got a view of Stadium Swim over there. You got the hotel room here. So when I get done with you, I'll be jumping into the pool. I look forward to that.
Nice. What's the weather like out there?
100 degrees.
There we go.
It is hot. There's no doubt about that. So while I was on the flight this morning, I started getting tagged in a bunch of tweets, and our guy Connor Long goes, "I know you're a Tomlin fan. Did you see this?" And I'm like, "Did I see what?" I'm half asleep on my morning flight. Well, Jason La Canfora, who for years was with CBS Sports, now is writing about the NFL for, I kid you not, a website that is called casino.org. But hey, La Canfora wrote this story, and I want to go through it, and we'll discuss how believable some of this stuff is and whether or not Jet fans should be on board with this possible plan that apparently Woody Johnson is already thinking about. So the main findings of the article is that Mike Tomlin, the ex-Steelers coach, who's now, of course, with NBC, is generating significant interest among NFL owners for a potential return back to head coaching. Jets owner Woody Johnson is reportedly doing his homework on Tomlin, with NFL sources believing the Jets are the front runners to sign him. NFL GMs believe Lamar Jackson could seek a trade, with a Mike Tomlin-led Jets viewed as a potential destination. So we certainly have a lot to cover in this story here. But Omari, let's start with key point number one that I don't think anyone can dispute. Yeah, a bunch of NFL owners are certainly going to be interested in Mike Tomlin if he decides he wants to coach again. He's one of the most successful coaches in the NFL over the last 25 years. And I know he only has that quote-unquote one Super Bowl win, but he's never had a losing season. And when you're a Jet fan who all you know is losing seasons, anyone dismissing that as an idea that makes no sense for a team that's missed the playoffs 15 straight years, I think is nuts. But let's just start with the interest in Tomlin. What was your reaction to that?
Well, my reaction was, number one, this is such a La Canfora story. NFL owners have interest in Hall of Fame coach should he choose to become an NFL coach again. I mean, let's get into the hot presses, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, even if Aaron Glenn is, the ceiling of what most people think that he can be this year, still, Mike Tomlin is Mike Tomlin. And I think that for, just like you said, for a team that's constantly losing, for a team that's in the midst of the longest playoff drought in North American sports, you absolutely have to entertain the idea of a Mike Tomlin coming in just to be able to get you back to, relevance. And, you have on a Knicks championship hat right now. And I think that that's just like a Tom Thibodeau signing. Now, maybe he only has, the people say, quote unquote, only, he only has the one Super Bowl, but he still has that Super Bowl. And I think that a lot of Jets fans would sign up for sustained success and just some credibility and honestly just a standard. I think the Jets standard right now, if you ask what is the Jets standard, a lot of people would say losing. So Mike Tomlin gives you instant credibility. And that's before we even get into the the last bullet point, which I think is absolutely insane.
And we will certainly get into the Lamar Jackson angle in this story. But look, here's the bottom line. Jason La Canfora, we could say, it's clickbait. He's making this up. I don't buy that. I do think there's validity to the fact that Woody Johnson looks across town and he sees John Harbaugh taking over the Giants. And if the Giants have success in year one with Harbaugh, I could see Woody Johnson being like, maybe it's time for me to finally hire a proven coach. The Jets turnaround, if you think about it, under Woody Johnson's ownership had a lot to do with the fact the previous owner, Leon Hess, finally had enough of losing and hired Bill Parcells, and the Jets essentially rode the Parcells success and foundation he laid into Herm Edwards, into Mangini, into Rex. The Jets from 1997 to 2016, they never had back-to-back losing seasons, and so much of that was because Parcells took over a one-win team and steered the ship to 9-7 and then 12-4 in the AFC title game. And the Jets had success. They were a normal franchise. They made the playoffs 6 times in the 2000s under Woody Johnson. So, again, maybe Woody's finally having that wake-up call. I can't keep hiring first-time head coaches and having them learn on the job in New York. The Giants finally said, enough. Let's go and get a proven coach. First time they've done that since since Tom Coughlin. And maybe this is Woody Johnson's wake-up moment, because as much as any Jet fan should want Aaron Glenn to succeed, the most likely scenario is the Jets aren't good this year, and they're going to need a head coach. So Mike Tomlin should be at the top of everyone's list because he's a proven commodity, and he could get the franchise back to respectability. And we could debate whether or not he could get them to the big game and win the big game. But if you're the Jets and you've missed the playoffs 15 straight years and you haven't won more than 7 games in a decade, Mike Tomlin should be at the top of your list. He's a proven commodity and a culture changer who will make the Jets no longer a laughingstock the second he steps into the building.
Yeah, so I agree with you to an extent, because one thing I will say is, yes, Mike Tomlin. Listen, I do Jets content all the time, so I don't know. You got me, Jake?
It looks like you just disappeared. I hear you though. Your camera went
Oh,
down.
okay. All right, I'll keep going. But yeah, so Mike Tomlin's coming in, but I think we're getting to a point now as Jets fans to where we need to just bust-proof this entire thing. So that means getting a quarterback that's bust-proof. That means getting a coach and a staff in here that's bust-proof. So I think more importantly than Tomlin, I think it's going to be who's going to be the staff that he hires, right? Who's going to be? Oh, there we go. Who's he going to bring in to ultimately develop that quarterback? Because to be honest, I just can't see. We'll get into that, the Lamar Jackson stuff. I don't think that's going to happen. Who is going to be the quarterback's coach? Who's going to be the defensive coordinators? Mike Tomlin is good, but I'm almost at the point now where if you're going to bring in Mike Tomlin and probably give him carte blanche, then you might as well just open the checkbook and just assemble the Avengers of coaches. So bring me Mike Tomlin, bring me Shane Steichen, bring me Brian Flores, whatever you have to do in order to make this thing fully bust-proof. Because I think that like the Jets, they're not, they're not a legacy franchise, but they are one of the, the first franchises to build the NFL from the AFL. But this is just such a unique situation. The amount of media, I mean, you have psychopaths like you and myself that cover this team religiously every single day. I mean, it's constant for a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 15 years. The noise and the constant circulation of news around this team is actually remarkable when you think about it. So I think if you're going to bring in Mike Tomlin, because the biggest thing with Mike Tomlin is who is from Mike Tomlin's tree. So I think that there are some concerns there with that. So I would like a strong staff, because they've already, Woody, the last, I want to say, 5 coaches, only one of them have been offensive minded, right? Adam Gase. So whoever comes in here now, Tomlin, I understand he can be the CEO, even though I hate the rah-rah leader of men cliches. But again, it's going to be extremely important who his staff is and who he hires.
I think this story is also notable because if Woody's going to be finally looking at experienced coaches, Sean McDermott's name, I'd imagine, would be very high on this list as well. To me, the Jets really have two options if Aaron Glenn can't figure it out. You hire the Tomlin McDermott type, or you take a swing on the top offensive mind who's the strategist who could fix your quarterback situation, right? Has major input in which quarterback you draft with one of your 3 first-round picks. And at least at the bare minimum, you feel like you are going to put yourself in position where that quarterback has success and is developed properly. So hopefully Woody is at least thinking in terms of one of those options. But in the story, I'll read you some quotes here. Quote, numerous well-placed league sources close to ownership groups, including teams whose current coaches are under fire, state that preliminary groundwork for a potential pursuit of Mike Tomlin is underway in East Rutherford. Quote, Woody is starting to ask a lot of questions. He's doing his homework on Tomlin, said one executive who knows Jets owner Woody Johnson well. This one has legs, I'm telling you. Mike is in New York at Rockefeller Center for NBC. Woody is back in charge of the facility, and he knows how steep the competition will be. You're going to hear a lot about the Jets. Over the years, Johnson has largely hired first-time head coaches, but that philosophy could be shifting. It references in the story Harbaugh going to the Giants. I brought that up months ago as something that I think could influence Woody. Let's remember, Woody Johnson went out of his way to acquire Tim Tebow after the Giants won their second Super Bowl. After their first Super Bowl, he wanted to acquire and did acquire Brett Favre. If the Giants are good, if they make the playoffs, if they're the talk of the town again, which I think they have a chance to be, guess what? That's going to cause Woody to, I think, have a blank check for a guy like Mike Tomlin. I think that's how he operates. So I do buy, that aspect of the report. The other line in here that I think is interesting is, like, it feels like to people around the league, this head coach, the current head coach, is as dead as you could be. In the story, an NFL GM, a current GM, apparently said this to La Canfora, quote, Glenn is a dead man walking. Woody wanting Tomlin makes sense. No one has any faith that Aaron Glenn, getting this mulligan going from year 1 to year 2, is going to be able to figure this out. And again, if you're betting on the most likely scenario is the Jets, whose win total is 5.5, aren't going to be good again, and they're going to be looking for a head coach.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand, and I see, on the timeline, people coming at you saying that you want the Jets to fail, you want Aaron Glenn to fail. No, we're just being objective from what we saw. Now, again, if Aaron Glenn goes out there and wins games, Aaron Glenn is in control of the narratives. He's in control of his football future. He's in control of the way he's going to be looked at amongst his peers in NFL circles. And what he put out last year, regardless of the context, regardless if you want to say that they were tanking or not, it was just not good. It was not good. Many people don't get to start off 0-7 and fire their entire staff and get another crack at it. So we're just basically echoing what a lot of people saw and what some people just choose not to bring up when they're speaking about Aaron Glenn. It's not that we hate Glenn. We don't have a personal vendetta against Aaron Glenn. Like, we're Jets fans at the end of the day, and we want the Jets to do good. What Aaron Glenn put on tape, and even he would tell you, what he put on tape was objectively bad. So Woody Johnson would be doing his franchise a disservice if he wasn't preparing for life after Aaron Glenn, because the probability of him coming out, Vegas is telling you, his peers are telling you that he's probably not going to be the head coach of the Jets. So again, all this can change. Listen, we could be here on a Wednesday in November talking about the Jets are in the hunt, and all the Mike Tomlin stuff from the La Canfora article back in August sounds just absolutely ridiculous right now. But we're just not at that point.
You look at the quote here that I'll put up on the screen. I mean, this is how Glenn is viewed by anyone with a brain. Executives across the league already view a shift in New York as inevitable. Glenn is a dead man walking, and he knows it, one GM noted. I hear the same thing about Woody wanting Tomlin. It makes complete sense. Money won't be an object. I mean, it shouldn't be. Again, if you're Woody Johnson, you maybe have that Leon Hess moment and say, I'm tired of losing. Get me someone who could turn it around. And I've been using the analogy that you brought up for months on the show. The Knicks winning a title did not just start with Mike Brown taking over this year and they won a title. It started with getting out of the abyss by hiring a proven basketball savant in Tom Thibodeau, who raised the floor for the Knicks immediately and built a winning culture that then Mike Brown came in and, to his credit, got them over the top and did exactly what he needed to do and should get incredible amounts of praise for the rest of his life for doing so. I believe the Jets might have their Leon Rose, the GM who could put the team together that gives you a chance to contend eventually in Darren Muji. I don't believe in Glenn. And if Woody's having doubts on Glenn, he needs to be prepared to act and hire someone that could be that Tom Thibodeau was to the New York Knicks. So again, root for Glenn to turn it around. But if he can't, I'm glad the owner is maybe waking up to the fact I can't keep hiring first-time defensive coordinators and expecting them to come in, learn on the job, and figure it out. The Jet job is not like any other job in sports. I think it's the hardest job for any head coach, you could argue, in sports right now. You inherit the longest playoff drought in professional sports, and it's New York, and the spotlight's on you. And I hope to God, if they can't get it right with Glenn, Woody finally hires a proven commodity as the team's next head coach.
Yeah, it's so funny, and I found it interesting because a lot of fans, and I try to stay, try to keep the pulse of the fans, and I know you do as well too. A lot of people want to go from the absolute cellar to the promised land, and it just doesn't work like that because before you get to Mike Brown, you have to be in your David Fizdale, Jeff Hornacek era. You have to go through all that. I think right now the Jets are in the midst of that. I think it's David Fizdale time right now that we're going through. So before they even got to Thibodeau, before you can get to winning a Super Bowl, you have to be relevant for a handful of years because just like losing, it takes a couple years to get the stench of that. Winning also takes time as well too, and changing a mindset and changing a culture. Even though culture is like a buzzword and I hate using that, but it does take time. So again, if this doesn't turn around, I think Mike Tomlin is absolutely the guy to do it, and I also believe that Sean McDermott is a guy to do it, just like of that ilk. But actually, I want to ask you a question, Jake. So if let's say that what did Harbaugh get? Maybe 15 mil per or something like that, or whatever. So whatever the deal is for Tomlin or even McDermott, but I think Tomlin has a little more cachet than McDermott. What do you give him carte blanche? Do you give him final say on roster moves because you do believe in Darren Muji? Are you going to hamstring Muji and then he has to report up to Mike Tomlin? What would the hierarchy be if you bring in a Tomlin?
My understanding is, from people I continue to talk to, that Darren Muji is well regarded around the league. And if Joe Shane could keep his job working hand in hand with Harbaugh, I'd imagine Mike Tomlin would have no problem working alongside Darren Muji. Now, Tomlin, if he needs to take the job, needs final say, I'd give it to him. But I don't think Darren Muji is going to be like, nope, that's not going to work for me. I'm gone. Like, I think Darren Muji would want to work with a guy like Mike Tomlin. I could see the symmetry working out well if it made sense. Now, Tomlin might have the final say, but I think those guys will see eye to eye on personnel decisions, if that makes sense. Like, again, we've seen this now where the GM typically gets to stay and the head coach gets can't. There's so many examples in recent years of GM surviving and the coach going. I know for a fact Woody Johnson believes in Darren Muji. I don't care what anyone on the internet says or whatever Jet reporter is trying to spin this narrative that, Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, they work side by side and Glenn's got final say on everything. The power dynamics have clearly changed. Mike Francesa has said this for months. I've heard it privately, and I know Woody Johnson publicly told fans at the Good Morning America TV segment that Darren is our, quote, general. He's changed everything for us. He's doing it how he sees fit. He's running the show for us. I just know for a fact Woody is a believer in Muji. So I think he'd get Muji and Tomlin in a room, and I think they'd be able to work it out. So that's kind of how I see the dynamic. I see Tomlin probably having final say because he's Mike Tomlin, but I think Darren Muji and him would work well.
Okay, yeah, and I agree with you. I think you can also tell by the way Darren Muji's operating. Number one, he's more comfortable in his role and in himself as an NFL GM. But again, he's speaking way more.
When he doesn't have to. Yeah,
he wasn't even scheduled to speak at day one of training camp, and he wanted to come out and just really. I think a lot of it too, and I've been talking about this. I feel like there's been a separation. I guess we're still working together, Glenn and Muji in conjunction with each other, but I think that there's been a clear separation, and publicly he wants to know that there's been a separation too. That's why I think even periodically during the season, it wouldn't even shock me if every quarter of the season, like every 4 or 5 games or so, we're hearing from Darren Muji. So you're right. I agree with that.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, Omari Brown is with us here, and we certainly have a lot to talk about. Let me put up the excerpt from the story about Lamar Jackson's future. So in the article, it says, quote, a potential Tomlin hire could immediately trigger secondary moves across the league, with conversations pointing towards a pursuit of 2-time MVP quarterback Lamar Jackson. Jackson enters a high-stakes stretch with his long-term future in Baltimore unresolved amidst ongoing contract negotiations. Representing himself, Jackson's current deal carries an $84.5 million cap hit for 2027, alongside standard no trade and no tag clauses. Multiple league executives believe Jackson could explore potential trade avenues following previous extension standoffs. If Tomlin takes the reins in New York, where the Jets boast premium draft capital, including 3 first-round selections, there is a belief Jackson would strongly evaluate the destination. The pair share a deep mutual respect built over years of AFC North battles, and New York's defensive core provides an immediate foundation for a contender. One thing on that, that's not exactly true. David Bailey's really good, but who's this defensive core that the Jets have right now? Their best player might be a 37-year-old linebacker and a 30-year-old, strong safety. Yeah, so that's a stretch there, but okay, I'll play along. Combined with Johnson's history of pursuing marquee names and Tomlin's preference for a veteran QB, the alignment is clear. What do you make of this? Do you see any scenario where if Tomlin's the Jet coach, Lamar Jackson is actually in play with one of these or multiple first-round picks that the Jets have?
I mean, listen, that's going to be a ton of draft capital just to get both of those guys in here, right? Because you're talking about all 3 of those picks. I think any conversation that starts with any of these QBs that people like to fantasize about, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, even Baker Mayfield, if he gets franchise tagged, I think the conversation with Burrow and Lamar starts at 3 ones, right? You probably give up 2 in 27 and probably 1 in 28. But then also, Jake, what we didn't touch on is that Mike Tomlin's still on the contract, so you're probably going to have to surrender some draft capital to get him from Pittsburgh over to the Jets too. So you're looking at 2 first-round picks. You're probably looking at what Sean Payton went for first, right? Or was that a second rounder?
Sean Payton went for a second-round pick.
Second rounder. Okay, so let's say you lose 3 picks right there. You lose 3 of your 4 premium picks right out the gate. And then you're probably going to lose your first in 2028. And then you still have to build out this roster. So a lot of people, this specifically is saying that the Jets have some defensive foundation. I'm in agreement with you. You got David Bailey, the number 2 overall pick, who hasn't beaten a starting tackle yet in a game. You got Jawan Briggs and Will McDonald, who's in a contract, who's going to be in a contract year. You got Demario Davis, who probably has, hopefully this year and next year, has a good year. And then after that, you got a bunch of question marks. I like A.Z. Thomas. You drafted D'Angelo Pons. But then after that, it's just a bunch of question marks. So you're going to bring Mike Tomlin over here with a very expensive and entering age 30. Yeah, entering his age 30 season, Lamar Jackson, who's been nicked up now, whose legs and his mobility is probably going to start to decrease. I don't know, man. That has like a recipe for disaster. You're going to have to hit on your picks. And then all of a sudden, instead of building, it takes you out of, this rebuilding phase into a win now. Now, all of a sudden, we're trying to attract aging veterans on 1-year contracts, or people are coming over trying to play with Lamar and Mike Tomlin. But again, they're on 1-year deals, and I don't understand how you really build up any sustainability in that point, because then it'll start to feel like the Tom Thibodeau when they sign a bunch of power forwards or a bunch of 1-year deals with the Reggie Bullocks and the Nerlens Noel. That's what it's going to start to feel like, but there's no superstar. The superstar was Julius Randle, but now you actually have a bona fide superstar and a top 5 QB. So now you're going to be scrambling to build out the rest of the roster to make sure that you maximize Lamar's window.
I agree with you, Omari. Here's how I view this whole thing. I would take Tomlin and McDermott. I would not trade for Lamar Jackson. If I'm the Jets, I would draft my guy and hope that we could be picking high enough to get one of the top college QBs on a rookie deal, and our foundation with the offensive line in place, Garrett Wilson, A.D. Mitchell, Mason Taylor, Sadiq, Cooper, Breece Hall, David Bailey on defense, that we're putting that quarterback in the best possible position to succeed. Like we drafted a Super Bowl winning quarterback in 2018 in Sam Darnold. We failed him as an organization. I would hope that instead of having to try and do like the quick fix of Lamar, or we tried it with Rodgers and Favre, it's let's get the right coach and then take the right quarterback, have the right infrastructure for that young player to be successful. As much as I love Lamar as a player, he's injury prone and his game is predicated on his elite athleticism. I don't think it's going to age great. You're giving up a lot for a very short window if that's your big move for Lamar Jackson. So I'd take Tomlin. I would not then trade 2 first-round picks or whatever it would cost to bring in Lamar Jackson to be my quarterback. I would want to draft my guy.
Yeah, I think you have to, especially if this is about sustainability. I think you would absolutely have to. Maybe you can get a stopgap in here. Maybe Gino doesn't, really shit the bed to the point where it's like, okay, we could run this back and give him, 6 games with Tomlin while the rookie gets to sit and learn a little bit. Maybe Klubnik shows you a little bit of something just so he's like a Davis Mills, like you said. I think we both said that if Klubnik could be Davis Mills, I think that it was a home run of a 4th-round pick. So that's where I'm at. I think it's all about, and for me, I try not to be short-sighted and try to see other things. But me, it's all about an offensive-minded head coach that can really scheme up easy plays and easy offense and a quarterback. And I think that if you can get those 2 things in this league, you are just ahead of so many other franchises. And that's the only thing that I can truly focus on outside of, seeing if Glenn is worth his stones this year as a head coach.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're just joining us. Omari Brown is hanging out with us here. He's one of the best. Make sure you guys subscribe to his YouTube channel, Omari Brown TV. I'm in Vegas, so we got to do a big-time giveaway for all the Jet fans out there. Plus, I could use some blackjack money, Omari. So today's giveaway is a David Bailey jersey. Someone will get lucky like I hope to at the blackjack tables later. David Bailey jersey is the giveaway. Enter the raffle by gifting a membership or sending in a super chat or Zelle/Venmo to qualify. Assuming I make it back in one piece, Sunday afternoon will be the weekly raffle where I'm going to raffle away a signed Joe Namath football, a signed Curtis Martin helmet, and a signed Darrell Revis helmet. So make sure you enter for your chance to win. Omar Ochoa is the first to support the Asman Blackjack Fund. He gifted a channel membership. Go Jets. Go Jets! Go Jets! We're going to talk about this game Friday night and what to see there. But I wanted to bring attention to a tweet that I got because I get the same version of these tweets from these fanboys, and I'm so sick of it. So someone tweeted me this morning while I was on the plane, what are your thoughts on a GM calling Glenn dead man walking? So I quote tweeted it, and I go, are you surprised? Glenn won 3 games last year and started 0-7. Until he proves otherwise, he's the worst coach in the NFL. I hope he wins, saves his job, and proves every doubter wrong, but I'm going to operate under the scenario. The most likely outcome is the Jets are looking for a new head coach. And this fanboy, Jay Gray, who I believe I gave tickets to in the past or whatever, but he's obviously, going to try and attack me for being a realist here, goes, your hatred for Glenn is disgusting, and you don't even hide it at all. Can we give a chance to succeed in year 2 before you continue to attack him? You're in the media. Do better. No one wants to effing hear you whine and cry every day. And it's like, what do you want from me, man? All right, I talk about this team for 4 hours a day. Aaron Glenn was voted in a recent ESPN poll by their analyst, a former GM and Louis Riddick, the 32nd ranked coach. Like, Jay Gray, come back to us, dude. My job as someone who talks about this team is to be honest with the audience. That's why I have over 60,000 YouTube subscribers. So it's not hatred. I'm doing my job. Calling criticism hatred is just lazy and lame. I want Glenn to succeed because I'm a Jet fan first and foremost. I'm going to Nashville week 1 to root on Glenn and the Jets to beat Robert Saleh. Believe me. All right. I make way more money. This channel does way better when the Jets are winning. So these are the type of tweets I get every day. And why my audience, I think, is loyal to my channel here is because we call it how it is. We're not a fanboy. For those of you who have been with me for years, you know that in 2023 and 2024, I picked the Jets to win the AFC East and win 12 games. So when I have reasons to be positive, I'll be positive. But after 3 wins and Glenn starting 0-7 and firing his entire coaching staff, minus Chris Banjo last year, he hasn't earned blind faith. Year 2 is his chance to prove the doubters wrong, myself included. And if he wins, I'll be thrilled, just like I was thrilled that after the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau, they hired Mike Brown, and Mike Brown proved me wrong. And Tom Thibodeau getting fired, I thought was a huge mistake. And the Knicks, they made the right move, and I was thrilled to be wrong. So, like, when you see tweets like this from tool bags like Jay Gray, come on, man. Come back to us, dude. I don't hate Aaron Glenn. I'm a Jet fan who's just not going to be a blind, delusional homer. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, the funny thing is that when I first got introduced to you, I was like, this guy is excited. And because I remember when they got Rodgers and you were just pumped up, and I was like, Robert Saleh is still the coach. I was like, I like this guy's energy, but I think he's a little too positive for me. So I just think it's funny for people to think that you're just this negative Jets fan and you built your whole, your page and your brand on being negative. No, you're going to be the first one. If Aaron Glenn starts off 2-0, I guarantee you I guarantee you that post game is going to be energetic, and you're going to say, look, prove me wrong. Keep proving me wrong, baby. That's what people need to understand. When listen, first of all, when we're doing this job, Jake does this job 4 hours a day. So as maniacs, you guys know, and I'm just talking to the people that are just randomly tweeting him. He doesn't want business is better. Trust me, I saw it last week. Business is better when the Jets are winning. So he doesn't want the Jets to lose. But again, the Jets are not above criticism. The Jets aren't the Kansas City Chiefs. They aren't the Philadelphia Eagles. Hell, they aren't even the New York Giants. And I see Giants fans giving them hell all the time. So why do we think that Woody Johnson and Aaron Glenn is above criticism? Because Glenn played here before a lot of these newer fans were even born? Again, didn't Aaron Glenn, when he retired, didn't he retire as a Houston Texan? He did. I think that he did. So the Jets have this, Jets fans have like this glorified view of Aaron Glenn as if he's some lifer, as if he's in the Ring of Honor. He was a good player. He was very scrappy. He was a Bill Parcells player. So I know a lot of people have just like sensationalized Bill Parcells' era. But again, this is 2026. We're in August of 2026. What Aaron Glenn did almost 30 years ago means absolutely nothing. Okay? And so what he's shown us, we can only judge people on what they show us. And what they've shown us is that Aaron Glenn, on most Sundays, at least last fall, was overmatched. So until he shows us otherwise, we're going to act accordingly. So just Jake is a lot. Hold on, really quick. Jake is a lot nicer than me. So if you come in my mentions, you getting shot at a lot harder than what Jake does. So
I appreciate it, man. It's so just frustrating because it's like the Jets have not earned the benefit of the doubt. Like, sorry, I'm not going to be delusional. They won 3 games last year. They started 0-7. He was awful. If he didn't have a 5-year contract paying him $12.5 million a year, I agree with what Mike Florio has been saying. Woody would have fired him then. And I know for a fact Woody was furious with how the end of the season ended. Rich Cimini reported that, and I had heard the same thing. Like the idea that, it's all hunky-dory and it's just going to work out. Why? Because Glenn was a Jet 30 years ago? If it was Arthur Smith in year 1, every Jet fan would want him gone. Like, again, we're all rooting for him because we're Jet fans, but come on, people. Like, he was worse than Adam Gase in his first year. That's a fact. You can't even dispute it. Gase started 1-7 and they finished 7-9. Aaron Glenn started 0-7 and his 3 wins were against 3 backup quarterbacks, and they lost their last 5 games with the worst point differential in NFL history. No team's ever lost 5 straight games by 23 or more in league history. They didn't have a single interception. And he's a former defensive back who had over 40 in his career. They went 17 games without an INT. So now, he's taken over the play calling and hired Frank Reich. I'm supposed to just be like, last year didn't happen. They're now going to win 10 games. Let's be realistic, man. Again, their win total's 5.5. If Aaron Glenn goes out there and wins 9 games, I will lead the campaign for him to be the coach of the year in the NFL. But we got to keep it real. And the people that watch the show know we keep it real, and that's why you're here.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, the Patriots fired Gerard Mayo. He won a Super Bowl with them. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's a Patriots Ring of Honor player, and they got his ass right out of there because he wasn't doing the job. And again, they'll still welcome Gerard Mayo back. He can still come whenever they celebrate, the Super Bowl team that he was on. I just looked it up. I thought he won more Super Bowls. He only won 1 Super Bowl with the Pats. But again, so if they can, kick Gerard Mayo to the curb, Aaron Glenn isn't above that. He isn't above that. So I just think that, and this is just humor me a little bit, Jake. This is something that I really want to get into with this year as well, too. Can we please just raise our standards as fans? Like, could we want more for ourselves as fans? I get into arguments sometimes just because people think that Darren Muji is just above criticism. He was objectively bad in day 3 of his first draft. I don't want to hear that he didn't have his scouts in and all these other excuses. Like, people don't give Glenn excuses. Why do you have to give Darren Muji excuses? There's somewhere, it's not always far left. It's not always far right. It's always somewhere in between. Just because somebody's doing something good or they're doing better than their predecessor doesn't mean that they're above criticism. The Jets have not earned the benefit of the doubt. The benefit of the doubt is earned when you've done well in your job in the past. So now we know that there's a sample size or something that we could look forward to. These guys haven't proven anything. They've won 3 wins as a regime. 3 out of 14 times. 17 times last year, they went out there and they lost 14 times out of those 17. And those 3 wins, if you even want to count that, be my guest. But again, my thing is going to be raise your standards. And I hope that collectively as fans, even as creators for this team, that we collectively raise our standards because we deserve more than crumbs.
Amen. Hey, man, I want to give a huge shout out to Jay Petito. How about this? A $50 super chat and a story about Mike Tomlin. We're going to get to all that. But first,
Whew.
here's what needs to be done. We need to hit the Jet chant.
Let's go.
My brother saw Tomlin at the bar in the Hamptons Monday afternoon, seemed to be enjoying retirement, took a pic with him, but he was very friendly to the fans who recognized him. Jay Petito, we need to know, did anyone ask him about possibly coaching the New York Jets? We know Tomlin has a house out in the Hamptons. We've known that for months on this show. Peter Castro has seen him out there. We got our best people working on it. Is Mike Tomlin going to be interested in being the guy to resurrect the Jet franchise? I don't know, but I do think he's going to get that itch to coach again. I don't think this is a Cowher situation where he loves TV and he stays there, for the remainder of his career. I think Tomlin's going to coach again, and the question will be if Woody and the Jets pursue him and he's their guy. But it is funny how he's got a house out in the Hamptons. He's going to be working at Rockefeller Center. He'll be around New York fans. Someone's going to get the word with Mike Tomlin about the Jets.
I don't know, man. It sounds like he has a good gig. It's way less stressful.
That's true. These guys are obsessed with winning and keeping score.
I know. See, he's already lost all of his hair. If he had his hair, then I would say, no, he's not coming back because then you're going to lose your hair. But we have the same haircut now. So maybe, maybe he does come back. But again, I mean, like he's probably enjoying himself. But yeah, Tomlin, I think Cowher was probably a little bit older too when he retired. I don't know. I just think that the money is similar for some of these guys and it's way less work. So unless you truly love ball, which we all know that Tomlin does, it's really hard to get back into the grind of this because you already know, Jake, it's a damn near 20-hour job of constant grinding and the stress. But again, what did Joe Girardi say? The reason that he went back, because they don't keep score in the booth.
That's right. We'll see. That's right. I'd be in on him, McDermott. My dream scenario, though, and I recognize we have new viewers of the show all the time, my dream scenario for the Jets is that Kevin O'Connell becomes available, or it goes poorly in Minnesota. They're willing to listen, and the Jets could trade for KOC. And Darren Muji's college roommate was Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell praised Darren Muji when asked about the Jets at a golf tournament this offseason. He's paid attention to what they're doing. They've remained close. That's my dream scenario because I think Kevin O'Connell is exactly what they need as far as a proven offensive coach, whereas Tomlin is proven, McDermott is proven, but they're defensive guys, rah-rah CEO type of guys. KOC's your play caller, and he's won everywhere that in all his years in Minnesota, despite not having the best quarterback play. So that's my dream scenario if he ever was actually obtainable.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it. The coaches. He's one of the coaches that I would surrender a first-round pick for. But again, I feel like Minnesota, just because when you have a known commodity at head coach, all you really need is that quarterback. So what would have to happen? Question for you: what would have to happen for Minnesota to surrender KOC? I know he would. Besides him asking out, what would that season have to look like? It would have to be a total implosion, right?
I think so for sure. For sure. And maybe Kyler Murray's is not good or he's hurt, and then it's just a messy year, and it's the ownership there until they got rid of the GM. All of a sudden, it just gets ugly, right? And the two sides want a divorce.
And they want a complete reset because I feel like he hired the GM. They got Kwesi out of there, who's had some questionable picks.
He won the power struggle there, that's for sure.
For sure. So I think that at least buys him another, a year or two. But again, I'm with you there. I think that that's exactly what you want. You don't want a first-time guy. You don't want a defensive guy. You want a proven commodity. I think that it's KOC. It's either KOC for me. He will be number one for me. And then I keep talking about Steichen just because I'm so big. If you look at a lot of us think that Anthony Richardson was overdrafted. We don't think that he's a good quarterback. But if you look at it, his record, he's 6-5. And you look at the numbers, it's not great. I think a lot of that has to do with the schematic programming of Shane Steichen. And I feel like I don't want, some people are talking about Zach Taylor. I don't know. That just feels very Adam Gase-ish to me. Like a offensive-minded coach that probably should have a couple more years to reinvent himself as an offensive coordinator. So my top two guys would be KOC, and then I'd be thinking about Shane Steichen. I want no parts of Mike McDaniel. I'm sorry. I just heard too many bad things. I think that guys would just run all over him. I know that people, they learn, they improve, but I just want no parts of him. I think that the media would shred him. I think you and I would have 40 minute, monologues on why we can't stand Mike McDaniel personally.
I'd take him if it's just about like we need an offensive guy, but
Yeah.
I don't think he would ever actually take the Jet job because his best friend is Robert Saleh. So I don't know if he'd ever want to work for Woody Johnson.
Yeah, I just don't think that he can command a locker room. I just heard so many horror stories, and again, I know that it was from veterans, but he was running that organization like a country club, and I think that it would just be an absolute circus here with Mike McDaniel at the helm.
Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. Again, David Bailey jersey is our raffle prize at the end of the show. If you don't want Bailey, perhaps we can interest you in a Cade Klubnik jersey, Omar Cooper Jr., Kenyon Sadiq, Armand Membu, Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, Gino, or Demario Davis. We're presented by PrizePicks. Use code HMA, play your first $5, get $150 in lineups if you win. Omari, I want to give you a PrizePick player here that I don't believe I have personally asked you about, and that is, you ready? That is, why won't it load? Why won't it load? Here we go. Demario Davis. Will he have more than 110 and a half tackles and assists this year? Last year, he had 143. For some context here, you buying into Double D having another big time 111 or more tackle season back with the New York Jets?
Absolutely. I think he's going to hover right around 128. So, yeah, smash the over on that. I think this is easy money this fall. Smash the over.
Smash the over, says Omari Brown. I'm with you. I do think Demario's going to have another big year. He's the Benjamin Button of the NFL. I thought that hit stick he laid out last Friday against Pittsburgh was a sign that, he still could bring it.
No, he's back. He's back. Yeah, even then, I was like, why is he still in the second quarter? But he's still flying around. Did you see, because I missed yesterday's show, did you talk about Mike Clay having the Jets linebacking group as the number one linebacking group in the NFL?
I didn't get a chance to mention that. My social guys made a graphic for it. I thought that was really surprising.
Insane. I thought it was insane because I'm not the biggest Jamie Sherwood fan. I do think that he's going to be better because he gets to play some weak side next to Demario, so he doesn't have to get people into position. So he's going to play faster. But again, I could think of off the top of my head, Houston has a better linebacking core. The Niners. I just think even I like Miami's linebacking core. I didn't get that. And I was shocked. I thought he was including the edge group as well too. But yeah, I didn't agree with that one at all.
By the way, I just found an old DM from that Jay Gray guy. He once DM'd me, "You're a great follow. Good stuff." I wrote, "Thanks, Justin. Appreciate you checking the show out. Would love a follow back, my guy." That was from January 26, 2021. So, Justin Gray, since you clearly watch my show and have an issue with me daring to be critical of a coach that went 3-14, I would just like to say I appreciate your DM from back in 2021 when you said that you loved the show. Maybe because I was way more positive back then because I believed it. Yeah. I call it how it is. Anyway, I digress. We sack with a super chat. Would he let the GM pick the coach, please? Step aside. Look, I do think Muji's going to have a major say in these scenarios we're talking about, but Mike Tomlin's an ownership level decision from the standpoint of to get him to leave TV and come pick your job over the other opportunities he may or may not have. It's about giving him an insane contract, which is where you're going to need the owner to step up and write the check.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Wesack or Wessick, I'm with you. Outside of, like a Tomlin or, like a major move, a shakeup like that, I think Woody would have to step in for that. But I think he's going to let Muji do the coaching search. Anything under a polarizing figure like Mike Tomlin, or I think he would have to get the okay from Woody if he has to surrender, any serious draft capital to get a coach in here. So that wouldn't bother me at all too, because you're gonna have to really send full force. I'm talking taking a helicopter from Florham Park out to the Hamptons and really selling Mike Tomlin on the idea of turning around the Jets, a la Tom Thibodeau. It's going to take full force. I wouldn't even be surprised if they enlist some of the other owners or, influencers from the other team. So, if we got to push we got to go full force and push all our cards, man, let's get Jalen Brunson in there. Let's get Aaron Judge in there. Let's really just really flex our New York metal, man, because something's got to give.
Let's talk about the state of this football team right now. Training camp is in the books. They got one last preseason game Friday night. I don't anticipate the Jets playing their starters, but do you expect to see Cade Klubnik play in this one Friday against the Giants?
Yeah, I do. I think we're gonna at least get the first quarter because I think the quarterback two battle or whatever you call it. They were going through the motions. I think it's going to be Cade Klubnik. He's looked the best out of the bottom three quarterbacks. So I think you get him in there for. I would like to see the full first half, at least with that second offensive line, even though that second and third unit, man, it's brutal to watch. So you don't even want Cade to get in trouble there. But again, I hope we get a good run of Cade Klubnik at quarterback. I hope we get a decent run of Isaiah Williams and some Omar Cooper, at least the first quarter with those guys. I think Braylon Allen needs snaps, to be honest. I think that Braylon Allen did not look good against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I would like to see some of those guys play. And then for the defense, I really don't need to see any of the first team or of those rotational guys. I think guys like Malachi Moore, they need to step up. Kiko Mauigoa, he needs to get some reps. Michael Walker. So guys like that, they need to play. And then there's some bubble guys, the Sam Womacs of the world. Unfortunately, future All-Pro Maury Bamba has been sidelined. And Darryl Jackson Jr., he could get some valuable snaps. And I mean, the edge group is pretty much set, so I'm not really looking for, like the Braden McGregors. I don't think he makes the team. But I would like to see Nate Lynn. He flashed. He had 2 sacks last week. So maybe Nate Lynn, let's see if he can flash. But I think the roster, and I know we'll probably do this on another episode, I think the roster for the most part up to about 49. I got to about 49 or 50 with with people that I feel good about. I do think they're going to carry 4 tight ends as well, too. I know a lot of people are buzzing about that. I think 4 tight ends is a lock.
They have to. Jelani Woods is too good to not make this team.
Exactly. Jelani Woods is one of those guys back in the day I just fell in love with randomly. Every draft process, there's just a guy that you like. And I was like, this guy's 6'7", 260. He can block. He can catch. Might be a matchup nightmare. So it would be full circle for he and Frank Reich to come here and make it work in whatever making it work is for a tight end 4 capacity.
Sean Bennett with a super chat. Davis Webb's our next head coach. That's an interesting name because there is the Darren Muji Denver connection to him, and he'd be the top offensive guy potentially.
Yeah. I mean, could we at least wait to see what, the Davis Webb-led offense looks like? So what I will say, it is a huge vote of confidence that Sean Payton, one of the best play callers of this, we'll call it century, is allowing Davis Webb to now call plays. So let's at least see what the Denver offense looks like with, being spearheaded by Davis Webb before we anoint him the next head coach.
Yeah, look, he's clearly highly regarded because Sean Payton stepped down from being the play caller just to retain him on the staff. Otherwise, Webb was going to go somewhere else to call plays. But, at the end of the day, he's got to prove it. But I could definitely see Davis Webb being like this year's Clint Kubiak as like the top offensive guy that teams are lining up for to hire. We'll see. If they're not going to hire a proven coach, it has to be an offensive guy, given the fact they're taking a quarterback next year. You cannot hire another first-time defensive coordinator if you're going to move on from Aaron Glenn after the year.
Yeah, and I think the 3 names that the chat should keep at we'll just say keep at the back of their minds. I would say, obviously, Davis Webb in Denver. I would say Nate Schillhouse in LA with Sean McVay, and Grant Udinski down in Jacksonville with Liam Cohen. I think that those, if you're going to consider a first-time head coach that's offensive minded, I think those 3 should be at the forefront of consideration. But again, like Jake and I said, I think it's going to be incredibly tough. It's going to be an uphill battle for a first-time head coach to come in here and truly turn this thing around. But if those are the options, those would be my 3. And if I wanted to rank them, I would say Webb, Udinski, and then Schillhouse.
Webb, Udinski, and Schillhouse. Again, offensive guys. Commodities with the quarterback spot. I am in agreement with you there if they go down that path. Hopefully Glenn wins, and this is not a conversation, but God, I am so worried about week 1 because I can just see this spiraling if they lose that opening game.
Yeah. And that's what I mean, though. Just all of this goes away if you win. Winning is the best cologne. So just go out there and win. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk to some callers now, shall we? Joining us right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is none other than
Women need to vacuum and shouldn't be allowed to vote.
What up, y'all? What up?
Hey,
what
Gary.
up? What up?
What's up, Gary?
What up, Omari? Good work so far on your content. You're doing a good job on your channel. Keep it up.
Thank you. I
Keep it up.
appreciate that. Hopefully I can get a call in from you, Gary.
All right, we can do that. We can do that. Well, I'll do that. Jake, you sound different. Is your mic different? You sound different. I don't know.
different mic today. I'm using my travel mic because all my equipment
Oh,
will be used
you're traveling.
starting tomorrow.
Okay. All right, cool. I've been trying to touch baby Omari because all right, so the title of the show suggests to me that Aaron Glenn's grave is already dug and they were just waiting to bury him. Like, that's what it sounds like to me, right? Like, so it's to tell me that this is kind of a tank year. I mean, how else would you, if you're already replacing your coach before week 1, how else would I view this year? And if you're going to replace your coach and you want a guy like Mike Tomlin, well, why would Mike Tomlin take this job? Because he gets to pick his quarterback, right? Because he can have any job that's available to him. He wouldn't pick this one unless he can pick his quarterback. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be a bearer of bad news, but are they already writing this season off before it starts?
No, I think that Woody Johnson is preparing for all angles. Now, again, if Aaron Glenn wins, all this goes away. But I think that he'd be crazy not to make sure to exhaust all options. And I think that what he saw last year, I'd be preparing. I'd be prepared for it. It's just like if you went through a hurricane, would you make sure that you have hurricane insurance? Would you raise the level of your home or the foundation? So I would just be prepared for just for the possibly inevitable.
Okay, that's a good analogy. In boxing, they say once you consider retiring, you've already retired, just quit now.
Yes.
I kind of feel like once you consider firing your coach, he's already fired. Like, just get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? But like, to me, like, okay, but they don't want to do that because they want to. I'm not saying they want to tank the season. I'm just saying that's what this looks like to me, is that you're trying to tank the season to get Tomlin in to get a quarterback. And that, like, this is like a fool's errand with Glenn. Like, he's not going to do good, and that's ultimately the goal, is to get the quarterback to bring the coach in. Maybe it'll work. It just, I can't sit through another season of this, right? And maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But when I see that you're already looking to replace your coach, to me, that says your coach is already gone.
Well, I'll just push back and say players don't tank. Coaches don't tank. Yeah. So no matter what executives want to do, no matter what owners want to do, even for the most part, no matter what GMs want to do, they're actually, outside of them, making people sit or trading away players, they really don't control what goes on in between those lines. So like I said, all of this, listen, no matter what Jake says, no matter how I feel about it, no matter how you feel about it, Aaron Glenn is in control of his own destiny. He's in control of this season. He's in control of his head coaching life. If he goes out there and wins, could you imagine what the narrative is going to be? You think Jake and I are going to be able to come out here and really critique Aaron Glenn if he starts off 2-0? No. We're going to say, guess what? Go get a revenge win against your old team, since everybody thought that you sucked. And then after that, go beat up on Ben Johnson since everybody thinks that he was carrying you for your entire coordinator career. So again, winning can change the narrative, and it's up to these guys. And that's why I never understand why people want to attack me or attack Jake, because we don't control any of this. We don't control anything. All we do is react to their poor performance or their good performance, which we don't get much of. So I don't understand how you expect us to be optimistic or not potentially try to woo a Hall of Fame coach when you guys are 3-14 and you arguably probably shouldn't even won 3 games.
It'd be a bigger story, Gary, if Woody wasn't, considering a coach as credentialed as Tomlin. Like it's stating the obvious. Oh, the Jets would be interested in Mike Tomlin if Glenn can't figure it out. Like, it's a story they're not interested in that guy. Like, come on, you've only hired first-time coaches in your tenure, minus Adam Gase, who your brother hired. Like, maybe you do have to reevaluate how you approach hiring coaches in this market. Again, I keep using the Knicks as an example. They figured it out by hiring a proven coach. The Giants finally had enough losing, and they hired Harbaugh. The last time they had any success, they hired a proven coach in Tom Coughlin, who had success in Jacksonville. So, like, that might be what you need in New York when you've been as bad as the Jets have been. Someone who could come in and has already proven to be a successful coach.
Well, that's like my other half of the question, and I have another question for Omari. Like, do you think that like they had that conversation already, and Tom's like, "Look, I'm taking a year off. We can readdress this. We can address this a year from now, but I'm taking a year off." Like, I mean, do you think that conversation's already been had with Tomlin? Like, if you're gonna leak his name out there, right? I feel like you can't do that recklessly. Like, do you think that off the record, Woody Johnson has already had that conversation with Tomlin, and Tomlin's like, "I'm taking a year off. We'll talk about this a year from now."
Well, I think what happened here was like Woody is just doing his like preparation, like reaching out to Tomlin's people, like, hey, let us know if you'd be interested. Obviously, we'll see what happens this year, but we'd love to consider him a serious candidate should he be available. I don't think he's directly talking to Tomlin. I think he's talking to his representation, like, hey, keep us posted if Mike's going to be interested in coaching again. We'd love to talk with him if in when we have an opening, because this hasn't been proven, and Mike T hasn't told me this. But do you remember there was a report 2 seasons ago when the Jets were in the market for a head coach? Adam Schefter had a story that teams called the Steelers about the availability of Mike Tomlin. Yep. If I know Mike Tannenbaum the way I think I know him from working with him and just how he has been a GM in his career, Mike's aggressive. It would not surprise me if the Jets were the team that called the Steelers 2 years ago to inquire about Tomlin's availability. Now, ultimately, they hired Glenn. But remember, if it wasn't Glenn, they wanted Vrabel before Aaron Glenn. That was their choice. So Vrabel falls on the same category as a Tomlin, right? CEO, successful, proven commodity at coach. I think the Jets had interest in Tomlin 2 off seasons ago, and the Steelers reneged on any conversations there because they wanted to bring him back. So I think that could be part of it, like just revisiting, hey, we spoke with your agent 2 years ago. Keep us in mind if you have the itch to coach again. We'd be very interested in potentially hiring you if we have an opening. I think it could be something like that.
Yeah, I think the Jets. Tomlin's been linked to the Longhorns too. Again, these are just rumors, but he's been linked to the Longhorns too. I don't know. But so my other question is for Omari, and I've been meaning to ask you this, but I haven't been able to get on with you. A couple of weeks ago, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, of the quarterbacks, Arch and Dante Moore, and saying you put Meestermaker as your one. Is that? Am I quoting you correctly here?
No. I didn't put. Okay. I haven't released my rankings yet, but I do like. Out of those 3, it would probably be. I don't like Arch. He wouldn't be my number 1. Let's just put it that way. I'll tease it a little bit. Arch. Yeah, okay. Arch wouldn't be my number 1. It's not to say that I don't like Arch. He does a lot of things well. And I think that he does have the highest ceiling. He has the frame. He has the arm talent. But again, I think a lot of his mechanics are right now sloppy. Now, he did progressively get better. The Arch that played Ohio State isn't the Arch that finished, the season, especially in that bowl game against Michigan. But again, I don't even have the stats pulled up here, but 0 to 10 yards, Arch Manning is not a clean prospect. Like if we were equating it to basketball, he shoots threes well, but he misses layups. And again, you can't survive in this league with missing layups. And I think a lot of it starts at his feet. And he was working through some things in the beginning as well, too, because his arm slot was a little weird. He dropped down to kind of like that 3/4 angle, and a lot of his throws, especially across the middle, were sailing a little bit. Now, I say all that to say his team failed him, all right? Jonathan Mingo and is it Jonathan or Ryan Wingo and Parker Livingston, dropped a ton of passes. Parker Livingston dropped a ton of passes. So now he's not going to have any more excuses. He has left tackle number 1 in Trevor Gooseby.
He's got a wide receiver. Yeah, the wide receiver is probably best in the country. The wide receiver is probably best in the country.
I don't know if this is a hot take. I think that Cam Coleman is closer to Jeremiah Smith than most people will actually want to tell you. So he has 2 good running backs in Hollywood Smothers and Raleek Brown. He doesn't have any excuses anymore. So he's the golden child. He's the one that's been anointed. Go out there and be the best quarterback in the country, wire to wire. That's it.
As of right now, as of March or April, when the draft was, if Arch or Dante Moore would have went in the draft, would they have been the first pick in the draft?
Yes.
I think
not Moore. Arch definitely, because I just think the pedigree, the ceiling, and he wouldn't have started, especially if he went to Vegas, they wouldn't have started him right away. He probably sits the entire year, but then he gets to learn the QBX system. They get to break him down from a schematic standpoint and a fundamental standpoint. I think that it's just tough. Like there's so many things that are in his favor for him to be great.
Let me ask, because you don't seem as high on Moore. I'm high on Moore. Like Moore might be my first pick in the draft. What would you say? I just want him to play more. Like I just want to see more of Moore, right? what would you say he does below average? Like I can't think of, he doesn't have any major flaws. Like there's nothing I say, okay, he can't do that.
And I like Dante Moore a lot. I think he struggles when he has to move, and a lot of these quarterbacks do, just with the RPOs and the simplified system. I think he struggles when he has to go to his second and third reads. If you look at a lot of his turnovers came because he had already locked into his first read, and what he saw pre-snap wasn't the same as post-snap. So, and again, all these guys that we're talking about, they only have 1 year of experience. I think Dante Moore after 35 college starts. I think he'd be a really good NFL quarterback, but right now he just needs more reps. He is in terms of touch, ball placement, and arm, we'll call it like arm arrogance. Dante Moore is up there. I think the only person that has more arm talent than Dante Moore is Drew Messermaker. But again, those guys need more reps.
All of them, yeah. Mr. Maker and more for sure. Yeah, Mr. Maker, he came out of nowhere. He didn't even play high school football. I mean, that's the craziest story ever.
He didn't even start in high school. He was the punter. Like he's a phenomenal. So I'm a big stories guy as well too, and I think that he's just a great story. And I do think if you can give him, let's say if you could had the opportunity, if you had the luxury of sitting Drew Messermaker for a season and a half, so that means that one full 17-game season and then halfway into the next season, I think Drew Messermaker in the right system will be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. That's how strongly I feel about him.
That's a big take.
It is. I just think that he has, and I'm really big on, thanks for humoring me, Jake. I'm really big on college QBs raising the level of the guys around him. And if you look at North Texas, no shade to North Texas, they're not, they're not
that's
the
my
Big
backyard.
Ten.
That's my backyard. That's 20 minutes
exactly.
from the crib. That's my
backyard. So if you look at the talent around him, and when they actually played better teams, when they played Tulane, he didn't flinch. And I think that, you look at the guys that thrive in the league, they've had to elevate the players around him. Now, again, there's going to be, there's always going to be the Joe Burrows where he was throwing in multiple first rounders.
That is interesting, right? Because you mentioned the Tulane game where he was great. Zach Wilson played Coastal Carolina and took a liquid dump all over himself and cost him the game, right? Like that, that was foreshadow. That was a tell that how he was going to play against better competition.
Drew Messermaker made me sit up in my seat more times than any quarterback that I watched in this class so far. And I still have, I think, 3 more to watch. I still have to watch the rest of Iamaleava. I put this off just because I'm not a huge fan of John Mateer. And then I have to finish watching Jada Maira. But Drew Messermaker, I said wow multiple times in my notes watching Drew Messermaker.
Yeah. I told Jake this story. My nanny, her boyfriend, was the same class as Drew Messermaker, both quarterbacks. He got there and he was ahead of Drew Messermaker on the depth chart on day 1. He looked at one day of practice that Drew was like, "My God, I'm never going to play here. Like I got to transfer. I've never seen a quarterback." He didn't understand why he was a punter. He didn't play high school. Why is he here? And then he saw him throw the ball. He's like, "Oh my God, he's the best quarterback I've ever seen."
It's now listen, he's not perfect. He's 1 year starting. He holds the ball really low. He has a really long release. But again, he's making NFL. He's throwing guys open. He's not waiting to see it. I think I'm incredibly high on him. And I think that I'm higher on Julian Sand than a lot of other people too. I just, playing in the Northeast and playing in the AFC East, you do need a bigger frame quarterback. That there is some semblance of truth to that. But again, I'm moving more away from the super physically talented and the traits guys over to the processors. All right. So if you can process, if you can get the ball in rhythm, if you can be a point guard and you can make all the necessary NFL throws, my question starting when I'm looking for a quarterback is, can I win at the NFL level with this guy? And if the answer is yes, then we can figure out all the other stuff later.
Great job, Amari. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Jake.
Yeah. Awesome. Great call, Gary.
Great call. I appreciate it. I just like when Omari's in the lab like that, breaking down quarterbacks, you just got to let him go. That was awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Austin with a super chat. Sean Payton is letting Davis Webb call plays for a contending team. Yeah, the fact that Sean Payton, who is a brilliant play caller in his own right, stepped down from that role to retain Davis Webb should tell you a lot. And again, we've kind of seen like the Davis Webb mold with some of the other coaches around the league, like the young offensive guy. They ascend quickly. He could be next in line, and he's certainly someone I'd keep my eye on for the Jets if they have an opening because of the Darren Muji connection there. Tyrone with a super chat. He's in the raffle for 2. I would not take LJ. Neither, he says, I would not take Lamar Jackson either. We need to draft our quarterback. We always fail with veteran QBs. will Mike T cost us a draft pick? He might, but I don't think it's going to be one of the ones. Like, I think there was a report that came out that the Steelers would basically let him go wherever he wanted if he chose to come out of retirement. Like, they ended on good terms. Like, I don't think this would be, the Jets having to trade for Parcells and give up a fortune when they did it. This would be, maybe like a third-round pick or something along those lines, conditional pick for Mike Tomlin. That's the sense I get.
Yeah, I'm with you. Sorry, I got caught reading the chat. I think that's the case too. I think that they left on good terms. Listen, he got damn near 2 decades of good football there. There's no reason to hold him hostage. If he wants to go somewhere else, just let him go. I don't think they're going to beat the Jets over the head. Jake, you see Tristan Oliver? You want to pull that one up?
Tristan Oliver, the super chat. So you skipped Mentz's tape.
No, I did not. And the reason that I talked about a quarterback that's a good processor, maybe doesn't have all the physical tools, and by physical tools, he has the requisite, height, the prototypical height that you want. He's listed at 6'3", he's probably 6'2.5". He doesn't have the bazooka of an arm. He doesn't have the arm of an Arch, Dante Moore, Drew Messermaker. But again, like I said, I'm going through all scenarios. So let's say the Jets win. They do what they do. They win. They go 6-11, 5-12, or 7-10, and then you're picking 9th or 10th or something of that nature, and you have to end up with quarterback 3 or 4. That's what my question is. Can you win football games? Can you win NFL football games with Darian Mensah? And my answer would be a resounding yes. He puts the ball where it needs to be. He's going to be on time. He's a good processor. You look at the Clemson game. He took some lumps and battled back. He's going to be playing with Miami. So, his supporting cast is going to be better than him. So he's going to be able to lean on his team a little bit more. I think that you can win NFL football games with Darian Mensah. And I tweeted today, somebody said Arch and Dante Moore aren't available. Who is your quarterback out of this class? And for me, it's Darian Mensah.
I'm intrigued to see how he looks playing in a loaded offense now. So he'll definitely get a lot of attention on him. September
4th. Let's go. Might have to live stream. Hopefully, let's get Jake in there on September 4th if he's free.
Hey, Mace B says, imagine being too cheap to sign a reliable kicker in Falk. Who's to blame? Muji? I'm not blaming Woody for the Nick Falk thing. It's ultimately on Darren Muji if the Jets' kicking situation's a disaster. I'm not exactly full of confidence with Jason Sanders being named the starting kicker, Omari, but again, I like a lot of what Darren Muji has done this offseason. That's the one thing I just keep scratching my head over. I think it's a huge risk they're taking moving on from Falk.
Yeah, and I hate, and maybe this is just the pessimistic Jets fan. The sky is always falling. You just know they're going to be in some games, and then the kicking situation is going to be their downfall in at least one or two of these games, and everybody's going to say, "Listen, why did we let Nick Folk walk out of the door?" I feel like we wasted one of the best kicking years on a team that only won 3 games. So it always seems to work out that way. But I feel you. I don't even think that the Jets kicker is on this team. I think that it's on some other team. I would try to bring in whoever loses the competition with the Giants. Both of those guys, shout out to Dom C. He mentioned this. Both of those young guys have big legs. And I would much rather, go with one of those guys over Jason Sanders. I didn't like Cade York, so I was hoping that he lost that battle. But, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong in that regard.
Sam says, is CJ Carr chopped liver? Where is the love?
No, CJ Carr is not chopped liver, but CJ Carr is more of a 2028 guy for me. I'm just at the point now, guys, where I've just seen so many quarterbacks just come into this league and fail. If you don't have 30 starts, you have to be like an elite, physically gifted, plus an elite processor. I think that if you have to be Drake May if you're not going to have the amount of starts that you need, or built and put together, and your game is like Cam Newton or something like that. You have to be a unicorn for me to consider you if you don't have the prerequisite starts. For me. And CJ Carr, I think he throws a pretty ball. I don't think that you can look at CJ Carr after last year and say like, hey, that guy's a franchise signal caller. I like him. He throws a pretty ball. He anticipates really well. He stands in the pocket. He maneuvers in the pocket well. But again, they ran the ball. They ran the ball probably 65% of the time, and rightfully so. They had 2 first-round running backs. But again, all of these guys that we're talking about, they all have eligibility after this year. Arch, Moore, Messermaker, Sayin, Carr, all these guys can realistically go back to school. They won't, but they all could technically be 2028 guys. So, as we're going through this process, and I'll be here to hold your hand, and so will Jake, we're going to have to open up the idea that the quarterback that you're falling in love with right now won't be the guy there at the end of the year.
It's going to be a crazy college football season, man.
It is.
And there's going to be more Jet fans watching the college season than ever. You got 3 first-round picks, and the Jets' current quarterback is going to be 36 in October. It is, and you have a regime that has bypassed drafting their quarterback the first 2 years. So, it is unlike any year we've experienced, even more so than the Darnold 2018 year because of the added intrigue with all the first rounders the Jets have.
Yeah, and guess what? As Maniacs, it starts this Saturday, week 0. CJ Bailey, quarterback from North Carolina State, he's going to be going against UVA, and you can get a good look. This is going to be his 3rd year starting. I like that he was given. Miami would have given him a bag, Jake, to go and be their starting signal caller, but NC State gave him an opportunity to start as a true freshman. This is going to be his 3rd year starting. He's 6'6". Can make every single throw. He does need to work on some of his processing. He's a legit dual threat that chooses to win from the pocket. And again, you talk about not having the supporting cast. I think there's nothing more admirable than a guy that's sticking with the school that loses talent. He lost his number 1 offensive threat in Hollywood Smothers. He took the money and went to Texas. So again, CJ Bailey. He needs to work on some of his processing, especially getting to his 2nd and 3rd reads. But again, that's somebody that he looks the part. He definitely looks the part.
Ladies and gentlemen, Omari Brown with us here. He's got to run in a bit, so last chance to get your comments or questions that we will pull up with the screen and answer them. We got a couple super chats here. These are going to the Jake Asman Blackjack Fund and getting a couple of you in the Asmaniac raffle for a David Bailey Jets jersey. Robin checking in says, we are 18 days away from the game that counts. That means almost 3 weeks of all kinds of takes to fill the void. God help us. I can't wait for the real thing to talk about, LFG. I'm with you, Robin. Again, I don't find Jason La Canfora to necessarily be the arbiter of fact, but he did used to work for CBS for many years. He wrote a story here. He claims to have an NFL GM in the story here that gave him a quote about Glenn being a dead man walking in. He's heard the Tomlin rumors, so we're covering it. And I think ultimately the best case scenario from a Jet standpoint is they are winning games and Glenn turns it around, or if they're not any good, the positive spin is I think they're one of the more attractive jobs in the NFL. So that's how I'm approaching the year. The pain of the losses, I hope, doesn't hurt as much. And it also helps that the Knicks are NBA champions. So maybe that will soften the sting a little bit here. But we shall see. But I appreciate your super chat. You're in the raffle for 2. Ralphie writes in, has Dylan Parham been an upgrade over John Simpson? I think this is way too early to tell, but do you have any thoughts on what you have seen through the first 2 games from watching Dylan Parham play left guard, Omari?
I mean, what I've noticed is that Dylan Parham we haven't called his name unless he's, he caught the tip pass at the line of scrimmage. That's the only time that we've actually heard about Dylan Parham. And I think that, when you don't hear about your offensive lineman, that's a good thing. Because if you're hearing about the offensive lineman, it's for 2 things. They're either getting beat or they're getting called for a penalty. So the fact that Dylan Parham has had a relatively quiet training camp is something that we could feel good about. So again, I think that he's just I don't think that he's a negative or positive from Simpson. I think that he's going to slide right in and give you similar production with less penalties. So in that essence, I think that he'll be an upgrade. So I think that he's had a good camp.
What are your thoughts on this offensive line, Omari? What is your expectation for them in the regular season? Could they be top 8, top 10, top 15 unit? I mean, what do you think?
I think a top 15 unit. If they can settle somewhere around 12, I would be that would make me feel good about it, because I think outside of Armand Membu, there are some questions. I'm a huge Joe Tippmann fan, and the Jets made a financial commitment to Joe Tippmann, so they also think that he's going to be good as well. So Armand Membu and Joe Tippmann, I feel good about. I would have liked for them to bring in some competition for Josh Myers, but again, Olu needs to take a step. And by step, I don't think that he needs to be a top 8 tackle. He doesn't need to be a top 5 tackle. I just need Olu Fashanu to be somewhere between the 8th and the 12th best tackle in the league. I think that people, sometimes glorified to Bickershaw Ferguson because he just played all the time. But there were some years where we had concerns about Brick. He got beat sometimes. But again, if he could just be serviceable, going into his 3rd year, he's getting stronger. He's understanding the league. He's still growing into his body. If Olu can just be, a top or the 12th tackle, the 12th tackle, the 12th left tackle in the NFL, that could take this entire unit to a new height. But again, I'm not ready to anoint them as a top 8 offensive line group. If they can they could be 12th in the league, that would be fine for me.
12th in the league, and Geno is upright, healthy. This should be a functioning offense that is watchable for the first time in years.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. Like we have realistic expectations for a lot of these guys. So I don't understand why, people, especially you, I don't understand why people come at you and say that we're just being extremely negative. So
it's just another day that ends with a Y. It's one of those. Windy City Jet fan. Thank you, Windy City. He's supporting the show. He gifted 5 channel memberships. Hit it, Woody. Jets, Jets. Woo! Your calls coming up. Football guy with a super chat. Omari CJ Carr might be a fake good QB. My reason is the schedule of Notre Dame. And tell me if this team could actually be good this year besides Miami. He might be the Trojan horse of QB. So football guys in the raffle for 2 with this. Your thoughts on the CJ Carr take he has?
So CJ is my fake QB. Let's look at the schedule and tell me which team they could actually be good this year. What team that they're playing against could be good this year?
He's basically saying CJ Carr might look awesome because the schedule is weak, but is he actually as good as what some might think he is?
Well, I think this is going to be his opportunity. He doesn't have 2 first-round running backs to lean on, so he's going to have to lead the charge. And one way you dispel the schedule questions and concerns is just come out and be good from wire to wire. Like, the schedule is what the schedule is. We can't control. They actually can't control. They opted to pick this schedule, but you can't control who they're going against. You have to evaluate him against his competition. But what I want to see, I want to see him being. I don't want to see him be a passenger. I want to see him being the driver. And again, I think that he's more of a 2028 guy between, all of us here in the chat. But yeah, I think that he looks good for a freshman quarterback. He made some mistakes, but I do want to see him improve. I want to see more deep ball accuracy. I want to see more consistency in his intermediate throws. I want to see them, putting the ball in his hands to go win games. And when you play against that weaker competition, give us some 5 touchdown games. It's not going to be the Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price show anymore. I want it to be the CJ Carr show. And they should be in the college football playoffs, and they should play some really good teams once they get to that point. So if they don't make the college football playoffs, CJ Carr should probably go back to school.
Man, CJ Carr, Notre Dame, Jet quarterback, that'd be a fascinating dynamic. That is for sure. That is for sure. The craziest thing is if it actually works out where they are getting Arch Manning. Unbelievable.
That would be box office. Nick Spano.
Manning as a Jet.
Spano would lose his shit. He would probably become one of the number 1 as maniacs. There's a lot of people that want that.
1,000%. 1,000%. Let me see if I missed any questions for you here, Omar, and then I'll let you run.
Yeah.
I think we are all good. So this was a blast, dude. Thanks so much for the flexibility with me traveling in the morning. Outstanding job as always.
Dude, I always tell you, I'll always be available for you, man. Love you guys. Love you, Jake.
Everyone go subscribe to Omari's channel, Omari Brown TV on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're joining us. Going to get to more of your calls. We have a major update on the Beast as he went to the heart doctor today. So we're going to be getting into that shortly. But first, let's talk about our sponsor, Dash Dog Food. Dash Dog Food, baby. Jet fans, we spend all year talking about how important nutrition is for professional athletes. What you put into your body matters when you're trying to perform at your best, and our dogs deserve that same standard. That's why I've started feeding Chloe, my dog, Dash Dog Food. Dash is made with grass-fed, grass-finished beef with no antibiotics and no added hormones. It's real high-quality nutrition you can actually feel good about putting in your dog's bowl. Chloe's eating Dash now. She loves it, and she's a very picky eater. So the fact that she likes Dash dog food is just outstanding. So if you want to upgrade your dog's nutrition, check out dashdogfood.com/Jets. Chloe approved, Jets fan recommended. Link to do so is in the description, or just again, go to dashdogfood.com/Jets. Let's hit some of your calls. We also have the raffle at the end of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this one. Joining us right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline to share the story of Beast's visit to the doctor is...
He's throwing parties for Jets fans. See him shouting at Knicks games. This guy's getting that Beast his hot water. 69 so many times he's lost count. No surrender, he's never leaving early. J-E-T-S, Lou B.
Jake, Lou, you're on mute.
Today was one for the ages, Jake. So you know that the big heart health appointment was this today, and you were going to be on the plane at that time. So my phone rings. He calls me all upset. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "They're not accepting his insurance, so they canceled his appointment." So I'm giving the fucking phone number. So I call him up. I get, let's just call him Dr. G on the phone. I'm like, "Dr. G, you got to see this guy. I mean, he's waiting to come there. He's a little special. Can you just see him?" All right, whatever. He says, there's a little appointment fee, whatever. I said, okay, we'll take care of that. Let him just come in, see him. So we get him there, and I say, call me on FaceTime when you get there. So he calls me on FaceTime, and obviously I said, the guy he's training to be a model. This is a champion. He needs to lose a little bit of weight. Doc, what can we do for him? And he says, I have a few $1,000s of free sample Manjaro here that I could give the Beast. And I said, can we do the shot right now? And I don't know if you have the video that I sent you today, Jake, but it's the actual Beast getting his first shot. So officially right now, Beast has started his model training, and he is on his first weight loss drug on his way to recovery and trying to lose some weight. Now, he can't eat sugar anymore. He has to do his steps. And, the guy's getting ready for New York, I must say.
Lou? You are an American hero. You are an angel. You stepped up to the plate today to help the Beast get the medical help that he needs. This is incredible.
I don't know how the doctor gave it to him. This is like $469 to $1,200 a box. And he says he knows him. He's seen him before. And I'm like, look, he's a big YouTuber. He said, who am I? Am I related to him? I said, well, I'm related to him in a different type of family. It's like a Jets family. So you could say that. So I can speak for him. So I'm on this phone call with this doctor. And this was just like he was singing in the waiting room. This was something out of like, I wish there was like a camera on. And the doctor was like, look, I'm just going to give him all my samples. And because we can't really get him insurance now. So we're working on the Medicaid. We got Medicaid's number. They gave it to us. We made some calls, left some messages. But until then, this would be an uninsured situation. Then you need a prescription, blah, blah, blah. But the doctor knew he needed it, and the doctor was good enough to give him. So he traveled on the bus with a few $1,000s worth of Manjaro, and it's in his refrigerator right now. But Jake, here's the biggest thing of this whole entire thing. Next Wednesday, he has to do his shot at 10:30 in the morning, between 10 and 11. So he doesn't know how to do the shot. So I'm going to walk him through it live on your show if you will welcome us.
Oh, yeah.
Look, Tubby, you'll need to shoot this shit into your belly once a week. Try not to eat that much. If you do, the pain will be like your regular gas pains, only 10 times worse. Now get the fuck out of here. Tell Lou B he owes me $3,000. Later, Tubby.
Sort of what.
This is
I'm now starting to get really, really annoyed.
B, show him the boxes. You got the boxes there? Look at this, my man.
Over $1,000 to all the pansies. This is real deal stuff. Over $1,000. I like to see it try.
You got 3 boxes for free. I don't know how this happened. I was like, Doc, how much? And he's like, listen, give it to the guy. I was like, this is great. This is fucking great. I didn't have to pay anything, Jake. It was awesome.
This is unbelievable. Beast is going to be so skinny.
So, Jake, I told him, look, it could affect you. And he says, yeah, I know it already has. I had gas on my way to the bus. I said, no, it didn't happen. It didn't happen that fast, Beast. That's just natural. That's just natural.
That's just you being you, Beast.
Yeah, that's natural. So he's going to go through some pains later on today or maybe, but he'll get through it. And he took the needle like a champ. He didn't even feel it. He couldn't even feel it. He was great.
It's a little tap.
So he's going to start a modeling career soon.
And now, Barbarossa, you just woke up a real piss tank. You little shit. It's like,
Beast, have you thought about saying thank you to Lou B?
Some people have already gotten on my skin already, and I need to go chill before something bad is gonna go down. And I'm
Barbarossa, look where you started right now. No, he doesn't want to be skinny like that.
Like, look, here, tie up, away with you. Great Bush, get out of here.
Say thank you, Lou B.
He did. No, Jake, no. You know he can't say
thank
that
you. Why
he
can't you thank your friend? He just got you thousands of dollars.
I understand that, but I know how these people are. They're acting like assholes. I need to chill.
You can say thank you. That's all you have to do.
I need a break. I'm gonna lose.
You need a break.
I'm gonna lose my rag in a minute.
Wait,
all
Beast.
Right. Bring on the Nightbot.
I am Nightbot.
Oh my God.
Me alone.
Oh. Beast. Tell him how many steps you've been doing every day. There you go. This is a true model right here. Beast, tell him how many he lost weight. He lost 10 pounds since the last time he's been to the doctor. He's been doing steps. He's cut out the cheese.
And
this guy's getting ready for
I already went on the scale today. I've already been on the scale today.
What do you weigh?
I went from 276 to now a solid 264.
Nice.
Better watch it.
Solid.
Don't get in my way, or someone's gonna pay. How about listen to what I say now. Now let me piss off. Piss off.
I don't know. I don't know what just happened, Jake.
This is just another day in the life of Beast, Lou.
Yeah, so we're trying to clear out the other pipes, the hard pipes we're working on. And let me tell you, Big Heart Health hooked him up today, I must tell you. And that was an incredible thing that the doctor did for him. He's a Manjaro man now. He's on Lily.
Beast, you're going to be a skinny man, and you better say thank you to Lou B. It's unbelievable. He can't say thank you.
It's a sore subject. He thanked me before, but he just can't say it on air for whatever reason. It's fine. It's no.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It's unreal. Lou, you're the best, dude. What an incredible thing you did.
No worries. We gotta keep this guy around. Me, PBM, Big Feller, and Gator have been trying to do a lot of different things behind the scenes for this man. And tomorrow, Jake, we have breaking news. He has a job tomorrow. That's paying $25, and Ralphie rocks. We said we would match him. So if anybody else wants to match the Beast, he has till September 1st that deal going. But tomorrow he's got a job.
Big things ahead, Beast. Sounds like things are really happening in the global studio headquarters.
Okay. I already got a few assholes who have no respect for me because they think they're gods. Get this little universe. I know what they like to do. Sit in their basement and beat up the national team.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Lou, outstanding job by you, sir. Incredible.
Crazy. But, Jake, I'm ready for Tennessee. Let's talk Jets for a second. I can't fucking wait. We're taking over Tennessee. Barstool on Saturday, over 500-plus signups. Plus, the bar crawl is going to end there. So we are going to be mobbed with Jet fans. I cannot wait. I cannot fucking wait for this game. We're going to destroy these guys. I can't wait, Jake.
Dude, I can't even imagine what the town's going to look like as people are getting in throughout the weekend. There's so many Jet fans going to this game. I don't think it's unreasonable to think 40%, 45% of the crowd could be Jet fans by the time this thing kicks off. I mean, it's the biggest week one game I think the Jets have played in years. Seriously. Like it means so much for their season. It's crazy.
And it's so great to go down there and see these other Jet fans that we don't know them all, right? We know some of them, and obviously there's just some Jet fans that you'll just never encounter in a lifetime, right? And we go down there and we see all our brothers, and we all have the same common interest and the same passion for this team. If you're a Jet fan, you're a special type of fan, without a doubt. So I just can't wait to be with all our brothers down there and sisters and just go completely wild. I really think this is going to be an incredible, incredible journey for us. Going to Tennessee, what a great place for the first game to be at for us. We got real lucky with that one, right? So let's beat the shit out of Salah and the rest of these guys. I can't just wait. Going to smuggle in flags. We are going to go fucking ballistic. But we have to win. So
everyone RSVP to the Barstool party. You'll be on a VIP list, so you'll have a separate line to be able to get in, and you won't have to pay any cover charge. So Lou said it best. We're over 500 already for this. And
at some point they could cut it off, guys. So you need to sign up as soon as possible. And then the tailgate the next day, Jake, get your tickets now, because once they're over capacity, these guys are on the road setting up a tailgate. It's not easy. So they need to know how many people are coming. So definitely do your thing, get your ticket now for game day. And that's it. We are ready to go. This team is looking good. I love it. I'm excited. I believe in Gino right now. I really do. And that's it. Throw the fucking ball, not like last year. So that's it.
Complete the forward pass.
That's it. And he does. He throws it and just fucking we got guys with hands. Throw it, Gino. Just throw the ball. Wherever it lands. Just throw it. That's it. And tackle some motherfuckers. That's it.
Let's go. Lou, you're the best, dude. Thanks again for all you do for Beast to this community. I know Beast maybe doesn't appreciate it the way he should, but everyone who watches the show certainly does. So what you did today,
he thanks me behind the scenes. He just doesn't like when he's put on the spot. You know that. But he's definitely, look, Beast is a special guy, and he's part of this community. So we have to keep this guy alive, right? Whether you like him or whether you don't like him, he's part of this community. So we got to do whatever we can for him. So that's what we're doing.
Love it. Lou, you're the best.
Later, guys.
Look, Tubby, you'll need to shoot this shit into your belly once a week. Try not to eat that much. If you do, the pain will be like your regular gas pains, only 10 times worse. Now get the fuck out of here. Tell Lou B he owes me $3,000. Later, Tubby.
Beast on Ozempic, or whatever the actual drug that he's doing. By the way, so this photo was sent by listener Jay Petito, who sent in the super chat earlier in the show. He said that his brother saw Tomlin at a bar in the Hamptons Monday afternoon, seemed to be enjoying retirement. Took a pic with him, was very friendly to the fans who recognized him. So this is Jay Petito's brother and future Jet head coach, possibly, maybe, Mike Tomlin. God. Again, I know Tomlin's not like the universal beloved candidate by many in the fan base, but if they hired Mike Tomlin, I personally would be giddy because he's a proven coach. And I think he could get us back to respectability immediately. He's not perfect, I get it, but he'd be the closest thing to Bill Parcells the Jets have had since. He's still a very good coach. You realize how difficult it is to not have a single losing season over almost 20 years, especially when he's had some awful quarterbacks. Seriously. Like McVay has had losing seasons before. Shanahan's had losing seasons before. Andy Reid's had losing seasons before. Mike Tomlin has never had one. And we're the Jets. All we do is lose. 8-9 would be the most amount of wins the Jets have had in a decade. He'd provide respectability. Again, he would need to go to a place where they have the quarterback. So I don't think he would take the Jet job unless the Jets are in position to get Arch Manning or someone of that ilk. But by the way, for those who think like Arch would pull a Peyton or an Eli and he wouldn't want to play for the Jets, one, I don't think that's going to happen. But two, that wouldn't happen if Mike Tomlin was the Jet coach. Peyton and Eli have the utmost respect for Mike Tomlin. But again, I'm rooting for Aaron Glenn to be the guy, despite what, Jay Gray and these other weirdos on Twitter want to believe. But we got to call a spade a spade. The most likely outcome is the Jets are looking for a head coach. And I like the fact that it does appear like Woody's going to write a fat check and hire a proven commodity. We'll see. John J. Williams, thank you for the Zell. He's in the raffle for 2. Again, for those tuning in, we're going to raffle away a David Bailey jersey or a Jets Legends jersey. You can really pick any Jet you want. I got them all in stock from the sellers I buy from. So David Bailey jersey or any Jet jersey. Mangold, Revis, Namath, Garrett Wilson, you name it, we make it for you. I also want to plug the Payne hats and the Payne shirts. We restocked another 20 of them. So for those of you who tried to buy over the weekend and it said sold out, thank you for your patience. If you go to jakeasman.com/shop, you will now be able to order more Payne hats and shirts. So definitely get those all set if you want it before week 1. The Human Fund has gifted a membership. Thank you, Human Fund. I got you down for 1. Let me get to a couple super chats that we still have to hit here. Mace B says, epic stream, the Shine one. Put me in the raffle. Mace B, I appreciate you watching the show. We got this one from Christy who says, so proud of you, Beast. Amen. I'm glad Beast is doing something about his weight. That's exciting for all of us. The Nick Shine Show says, I will be leading the Salah Sucks chants as the clock winds down. Lou B and Jake Asman, baby. Legends. Let's go, Nick.
Just don't let go of the rope.
They cannot lose that game, though. Good God. All right. More of your calls. Last chance to get in on our show as I'm joining you guys live from Las Vegas. Circa Las Vegas is where we will be for the next couple of days here for contest weekend with our friends at Circa. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is...
Is there anything that Lupe can't do?
He can do anything, man. If he can't do it, no one can. Lou B.
That's about right. I was listening to Omari speak glowingly about Mestamaker. I got to see these guys a little bit in the fall, but with those 3 picks, like I think that we should be able to beg, borrow, and steal our way to either Dante or Arch or Mestamaker. I'm feeling pretty good about where we're sitting this offseason. I mean, between us and the Colts, I think you're probably talking about 2 picks are in the top half of the first round of the draft. God only knows where that other pick is going to come in, but we can use that to fill out some of our holes. I'm not a big Tomlin guy myself. I mean, there are certainly worse options, but with this young offensive talent we've had, and the way that we've failed consistently with these defensive head coaches, I want to get a fresh start with a young guy who can come in and have an offensive plan to use some of this talent and make it work. That's just how I feel about it. I got the fear of missing something with Nashville. I highly recommend. There's live music everywhere. Perhaps a Asmaniac karaoke competition.
Ooh.
You could film it and have content for the channel, and then maybe we could vote on it when you get back.
That is a great idea. We definitely got to get some footage of some Asmaniacs in action.
Yeah, maybe start to get people enrolled, picking out songs and stuff like that, and then we can have that for our viewing enjoyment.
It's not too late to join us, Kyle. It's not too late.
With the work and family, it's not going the way I would like. I have to admit.
You fly in Saturday, you fly out Sunday night. Quick, strictly a business trip.
You sound like everybody I ever traveled with, trying to take me down the primrose path. I don't think I can do it this year, but I'll be there in spirit. I really appreciate your time, Jake.
Kyle, you're the best. I hope you change your mind, perhaps. That'd be incredible. I'm so pumped at the turnout that we have for the Barstool event. Like, this is going to be so sick. And for those who missed it, they're going to put some speakers where I'm doing the show from, so everyone can hear it. So it's going to be a blast. And there'll be obviously a live band and music playing throughout. But where I'm specifically going to be doing the show, they have like a patio set up for me. So I'm planning to go live around 4:15, 4:30 from Barstool, Nashville. Do a 45-minute to an hour show. Get some Jet fans on, some Jet chants, some Asmaniacs in the house. A couple of special guests will join me. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we'll see where the night takes us, right? I mean, we're going to paint the city green. There's so many fans who are going. Just RSVP if you're coming. We're going to give name tags to everyone at the door. Lou B is providing the stickers for folks. And at the door, they'll give it to you. And you'll write your name. I had to explain to the Barstool people, I'm like, yeah, like a lot of my audience, they go by their YouTube name. So like Mike so-and-so, well, he's not known as Mike in our audience. He's actually known by his name on the show, which is Purple Belt Mike.
Purple Belt Mike, he loves the dark night. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that Purple Belt Mike. Purple Belt Mike, he might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Oh, fuck.
Yo, what's up? Oh, man, the Beast never seems to not make you laugh, man. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
I'll tell you what Lou B did today, PBM, is the
legendary. Yeah, so something happened with the Nightbot. I got this text on my phone, right? Said from Nightbot, I'm sending you a shirt. And that was it. Just random. I don't know what happened. So
the Nightbot's got merch?
Nightbot's got merch, and it's sent to me. Somehow the Nightbot got my number. I don't know who gave it to him. But yeah, so I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens.
Your response should have been this.
If you see him in the mall of Willowbrook, boo his ass. If you see him on the DMV, boo him. Don't stop booing him. Boo his sorry ass.
I love it. I fucking love it. Yeah, so I don't know what it looks like, really. I just know that I'm getting one, I think. I don't know. Unless someone is joking. I'm not really sure what happened there, but I guess time will tell. We'll see.
Time will tell. And we will take down the Nightbot altogether. I am Team Beast all the way.
Yeah, between me, Big Fella Gator, and Lou B, we're going to take down the Nightbot. We're going to get the real identity. And, if he does send me a shirt, maybe I'll find out who it is. So
you are a detective after all, PBM.
I am, so I don't know. We'll see.
Beast says use it as toilet paper.
Yeah. I don't know if it's real, Beast. It might be this AI bullshit too. So who knows? We'll see.
PBM?
Beast, do you want a shirt? If I get it, you want me to send it to you? Is Beast on?
Gone. I'll wipe my ass with it.
If it's real, should I send it to you, or you think it's fake?
Nah, you cut it in different stripes and use it as toilet paper and wipe your ass with it while you're taking a big heavy dump. You're going, ugh.
A t-shirt's a little rough on the rear end.
When you're doing the Mr. Jones on toilet, going, don't worry about it, son. Like here. Look, just don't worry about me, man. Let me take my going. Ugh. It's like me being a Mr. Jones. It's going. Don't worry about me, man. Let me just do my thing. Let me do my thing.
Mr. Jones?
For Friday, son, when he goes, every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator, eating up all the food, all the chicken, all the pig feet, all the collard greens, all the hog maws. I like to eat some of them chitlins. I like pig feet. And didn't I tell you to take out the trash? Yeah. So why'd you do it? I fell asleep. I wish you sleep right now. I knock you inside your head with a left hook and make your ass take out that damn trash. Hey. What are you doing? I'm doing this way. We ain't got any milk. You better put some water in that shit. All right, I'll eat it. Hey!
Did you actually say sexual landscaping? Wrong word, Magic Mike.
Good job.
Let's go back to Jake, please. Thank you.
I'm back. He took over the show for a moment.
This fucking Nightbot guy. What the fuck?
What is happening here? How does he keep taking control and pressing play on videos like this?
I messed up last year. I was a huge butthole. Yes, you were, AG.
La puerta negra me espera, detrás de ti, la puerta negra me espera.
Beast Pack, you are no match for me.
What does La Puerta Negra mean?
That's a song from one of my favorite Mexican bands from Mexico. You know, Tigres del Norte, Mexico, old school.
But what does it mean?
Oh, it's a good song. Check it out. Go check. I also like some of my favorites in Mexico, like Los Labos, Luis Miguel. Oh, don't.
I understand, but do you know what it translates to?
I like a little merengue, once in a
The
while.
Black
Come on,
Door. Oh,
Look,
okay.
I think the Nightbot is Mad Max.
Ha 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 ha, Tubby. Can you hear me?
Support your mind.
Oh, man.
And you need to leave. You need to leave because I swear to God, we need to just go away. Why?
See if you guys can see me. What's up, Maniacs? Can you guys see me? See me do legs. Peace. What's up with you? How's the 35 world?
Okay, love you.
Can you hear me? What's up, Maniacs? Can you guys hear me? Good job. Oh man, we have preseason games this Friday, and the theme, guys, is really domination. Just like my workout, I'm dominating the leg workout, and that's what the Jets are gonna be doing to the Giants. They're gonna dominate them so hard that the Giants will be crying back to mama. They're gonna be kicked so bad in the Shazul, just like Beastbreaker. Where's Beastbreaker again on the? Is he on the line? Let's go back to Jake, shall we?
Is it true your toys come to life when you go to sleep?
Hey, who's this right here? And he tells it like it is.
Kill me! Please! Kill me!
I don't know what we were looking at there, so I wasn't going to take any chances. You know what? I will take chances, because why not? I live life on the edge. I'm no pussy cat without the cat. Beast, what am I looking at here?
I'm trying to relax. I don't need that moron giving me a headache.
Why do you hate Mad Max so much? He's a child.
For 6 months, all I've been hearing is the same crap. It's like talking to parrots going, "Oh, you want a cracker? All right. Oh, I want a cracker? All right." How about just sound like the parrot from Johnny Dangerous when he goes, "All right, you miss fuckface. All right, you miss fuckface. Oh, I want a cracker? All right, all right. You want a cracker? All right, you miss fuckface. All right, yabba yabba do. All right." That's a parrot.
Okay, so if he's a parrot, what sound does a cat make?
Meow, meow. Cats are normal, and
I think you're being a bit of a pussycat, Beast. You're afraid of a child.
No, I'm sick of that pug. That guy is a joker, a 3-trick pony, and dumb as a box of rocks.
You're a man's man, though. Why do you fear him so much?
I cannot deal with punks like him. Let me just say, this new generation of today are disgraceful, embarrassing, and they think of us as dinosaurs because they think they're the new thing. They're the big hit. No, they're no hit. What they are is a one-hit trick pony.
Hey, speaking of ponies, Barbarossa wants to know about a different animal. How about cows? What sound do they make? Moo.
Yeah,
Moo.
and what do we get from all the cows? Good meat. Good
And milk.
meat.
And milk.
As a matter of fact, there's a good company that I've been looking up called Bearded Butchers.
What about
Yes.
milk? No?
Well, same thing. But look at Bearded Butchers. Brock Lesnar, the great Brock Lesnar, he knows who Bearded Butchers is. Bearded Butchers, great.
What sound do cocks sound
Whoa,
like?
whoa, 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 whoa.
He's talking about a chicken. Dana writes in, $2,000 in GLP-1s going to expire in a day from not being refrigerated. Shouldn't you be refrigerating your medication?
Don't worry, I already know what I'm doing. Leave it to the pros. It's called let the pros handle it. You worry about you, and I worry about myself.
Well, I think the community's worried about you, Beast. They don't want to see you.
I've been to hell and back. So let's not put the cart before the horse. Always remember, if
you refrigerate it?
If the left hand don't get you, then the right hand will get you. I hate players who
Sean Bennett says he can't anymore with Beastbreaker.
He's a pussy too. He's another dummy. Another dummy with the lowest IQ of cheap toilet paper. In the words of the great Jerry the King Lawler.
New Q wants to know if you have any idea what a T-Rex sounds like.
I've watched Jurassic Park. I've watched Power Rangers, except the old Power Rangers, first to third season, and then after that, it just went.
If anyone has a request for the Beast Zoo, make sure you write in the chat what animal you want to hear Beast imitate.
The old Power Rangers from 1993 to 95 were the best.
Roy writes in, bro, you really talking about a new coach, WTF? No, right now I'm talking about what animals Beast could imitate for the community. So, Roy, I don't know what you're watching.
Wait. So, can Beast give us before photos so we can prepare? I don't know about that, man. That's a little too much for information there, but we're gonna I'm gonna get this Manjaro in the fridge soon, and tonight gonna get some good sleep.
What is it called?
Manjaro, the best.
I thought it was called Moojaro, like a cow.
No, it's Manjaro. It's different. This is very, very good stuff.
Hey, Kevin would like to hear you make a fox sound.
I don't know what foxes do. Foxes
PBM wants to know if you could do a giraffe.
I don't like giraffes. Giraffes are stinky.
Amanda wants to know if you could do an elephant.
Elephants are good. They're okay.
How about a frog?
Now, how about a monkey?
We need a little ooh ah. That was excellent. Hey, how about a pig? That might have been your best one.
Hey, pigs are fun too. Hey, but just make sure when you feed them, make sure you give them good food.
The Beast Zoo, ladies and gentlemen. Big fella says, do a walrus. How about a horse? Beast, this was outstanding. You gave Gator plenty of material for the next edition of the Beast Zoo.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, come on.
Man, what a show this has been, huh? They say the first show you do from Circa Las Vegas on Wednesday, August 26th is always going to be wild. I don't know if we thought it'd be this wild, folks. And we still have a raffle. Last call to enter the Asmaniac raffle. We're not going to have as many shows this week before the weekly raffle on Sunday because of my travel schedule. So if you want to win a Namath, Revis, or Curtis Martin signed item, make sure you enter. But right now, we're going to give you a chance to win a David Bailey jersey or a Jets jersey of your choosing. Nick Shine wrote in, Isabel and Nightbot in cahoots. That's a deep cut. For those who know, you know. JD says, Jake, you need to be solo to properly rant if we lose. If the Jets lose week 1, I will be solo on the postgame show. If they win, then there's a chance I might do it from the postgame party at the bar we're going to be at. But we'll see. I'm planning on going live when I get back to my hotel room, win or lose. If they lose, there's almost no chance I will be seen in public after that game. I will be locked up in the hotel room. Depressed. They got to win. Let's see. Barbarossa says, I missed the first hour and 45, and this is still amazing. You know, it's funny because you can't make everyone satisfied because Barbarossa wrote that. And then this guy, R. Molaski, says, clown in heaven, Jake, you hit an all-time low. How does your followers take you seriously? I don't know, man. I've been doing this a long time. It's good enough for 60,000 plus to check out the channel, but I guess it's not good enough for you. Look, if you want to find a different Jet show where a man in his attic doesn't make giraffe and elephant and rooster sound effects, please be my guest. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple calls left. Let's say hello to Football Guy. Hello, Football Guy.
Jake, can you hear me? I can't.
Oh, I hear you.
I don't know why I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
You don't hear me at all? Hello? I got to
let me join back.
Stand by.
When a caller sounds like shit and the show's about to split, you need some tech support, call Beast. Bring on the flabby tits. Beast Breaker.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Set your screen.
Hold on, let me call back. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Set your screens at Control, Alt, and Delete, please. Set your set at Control, Alt, and Delete. If you're not near a professional computer, please use your telephone. Please use your power button. Hit that 30 seconds. 30 seconds will set you up, and then once you come back, you'll be all clear, good to go. Now, let's get back to our feature presentation with Mr. Jake Asman. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Hey, make sure you say thank you to Beast for the tech support.
Thank you, Beast. I love you so much.
Good job.
I was gonna tell you about the Mike Tomlin thing. Is this kind of like, do we really want to drop picks for Mike Tomlin? I know. Before Jets fans rip me apart, let me just say this one thought. I know he's a Hall of Fame coach. Yes, he's consistent as consistent gets. But the league is kind of shifting more offense. I think this is kind of why, Steelers kind of got rid of him, right? Was because they needed. I know McCarthy isn't like a better coach, but wouldn't you say like he's more offensive oriented than Mike Tomlin?
Yeah, I mean, look, I wanted Mike McCarthy like in the last hiring cycle, so I'm a fan of his. But
yeah.
Here's the thing: if you're bringing in Tomlin, there has to be a quarterback in place because he's shown you he's not going to be like this quarterback guru. He's going to be a true culture raiser, raise your floor. He'll hire a good coaching staff, but he's going to need the quarterback already in place. That's the whole key with this, right? There's going to be limitations to what he could do from an offensive standpoint, but I don't think you're crazy for having that take. It would depend on what it would take to trade for him. I am under the impression it would not be enormous. It wouldn't be first round picks. I think it would be a conditional third. I think it'd be a very reasonable transaction that they could pull off. So I think that has to play a part, though, in the conversation for sure. Like if you told me McDermott cost you nothing or Tomlin's going to cost you a bunch, I'd lean with McDermott. I think he's a good coach.
No, yeah, you are right. Because that's what I was kind of worried about. Because Jets fans, whether we like it or not, these picks are is like our ring in Lord of the Rings. Like we cannot let these cannot go anywhere. And blowing them like that article it said trade for Lamar Jackson and get Mike Tomlin. It's like first off, why would we trade for Lamar Jackson when I'm pretty sure he would want to go to a team that's probably more capable than the Ravens already are. And not only that too, it's like we would just flush our future down the drain just for what? a maybe good season from Lamar Jackson. Like Omar said, dude's banged up. Yeah, he might be one of the best quarterbacks, like physically gifted wise, but I don't think just burning picks. I think Jets fans, we all should just pump the brakes a little bit and just let the season. If Aaron Glenn is already a dead man walking, let the dead walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let him go through the season.
I mean, the thing with that is, like, he's not really a dead man walking. Like, is it likely he's going to be good and save his job? I would bet against that. But, like, he didn't get fired. He got to rehire his staff. They brought in players specifically he wanted on defense. Like, he's not
Yeah.
it's not like they're just like, hey, you're screwed either way. Like, they're not
Yeah,
telling
yeah.
him you have to play Klubnik where you would have no chance because we're tanking. Like, I think it's extreme to say Aaron Glenn is dead coach walking. The perception is he's dead coach walking because he's awful, but he's going to get a chance to change the narrative. Like, for people that are
Yeah.
upset that that's the perception, well, the good news is Aaron Glenn gets a chance to rewrite his own story, go win games. Like, the Giants were going to fire Tom Coughlin until he won the Super Bowl that next year.
Yep.
So, like, coaches could be on the hot seat and turn it around. It's rare when you're as bad as Glenn was in year one, if you look at history like we have, but he gets a chance. Like, people are like, oh, you're not even giving him a chance. He's getting the chance. Like,
Oh no, of course, yeah. I'm not even.
My opinion is or the opinion of Jet fans downing Glenn. He's literally getting the chance to prove people wrong.
No, of course. If you want me to be honest, I was never a Glenn truther. I was like another defensive coach. You know what? Let this guy kind of go one and done. But then they brought him back, and I was like, that's honestly probably the most insane thing to happen, especially with the coaches that came out and that with Aaron Glenn. But I'm not very like, oh, you guys need to give Aaron Glenn a chance. No, the dude sucked last year. Let's just be honest. Like, the dude was just absolute garbage. You know what I'm saying? And I live in Tampa, by the way, for all the Jets fans out there to know. When Aaron Glenn was dancing on the sideline versus the Bucks, I was outside the stadium watching this thing on a TV surrounded by Bucks fans. They're like, oh, they left Baker Mayfield too much time in the clock. And then what happened? Baker Mayfield goes down the field and shoves it, in the where, but it just that like let me get back on topic. Whatever happens after the season, the main priority is keeping our picks stale. You know what I'm saying? Keeping them there. That's all I care about. And I gotta leave you with one more, Jake, about the college football, quarterbacks. In my opinion, I think CJ Carr is gonna jump on a lot of people's boards, and he will. Like, I will guarantee you this. This is my hot take. I will guarantee you CJ Carr comes out this year because Notre Dame is going to try to win the Natty this year. Look at the schedule. You know what I'm saying? Look at the I don't know if you know this, Jake, but Notre Dame has an automatic buy-in if they are ranked in the top 12. So they get into the playoffs regardless. You know what I'm saying? And the only ranked, I think, like super ranked team that they have to worry about is Miami. That's the only team. You can ask any Notre Dame fan, give them a truth serum. If you give them a gun to their head, right? Ask them, what is the most important game on this schedule? It's the game against Miami. That's the only reason they get in, and that's the only reason why they get left out. And CJ Carr is going to stat pad, and I just don't think he's going to be a good quarterback coming into the draft. If anything, my top picks I would like to see is the USC quarterback. I forgot his name. Oh.
Football guy. It's August 26th. We got time, man. No one knew who
I'm
Fernando
taking.
Mendoza was
I'm
a year
taking. I
ago.
can feel
All
it.
right?
I can feel the take coming, Jake. I'm sorry.
There's going to be a huge debate. And if you thought the debate on, Aaron Glenn's future or Bailey versus Arvell Reese was insane, the debate for which quarterback the Jets are going to take in 27 is going to be unlike anything we've ever experienced. So we'll see how it plays out, man. We're going to be watching every week. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll let you go with that, Jake. Yeah. And I love the show, Jake. You're the best, man.
When did you start watching Football Guy? Because I know you're a recent subscriber, right?
So I've actually been watching since the beginning of last year, but I never subscribed. I always thought I subscribed, but I never really did until I think early February, early March, I think. And then I started buying. I bought the baby ass maniac. You know what I'm saying? Because I am a baby ass maniac. And I just love the fan base. You guys have a great culture, and I just love it so much. And Jake, you are the best. I don't know if anybody ever tells you this, but you got me motivated to try to do commentary, and you know, you do such great work. And yes, I know. I think it was JD. He dropped a comment before I came in the chat or in the call. He said that you need to do solo rants if we lose. Yes, Jake. When I tell you, like, your solo rants are the best, and I know
They're
it's like
coming, man. They're coming. That's the post game shows. Hopefully,
it's
I hope there's more wins than losses, but that's what these
no.
post games have been.
I know. I was watching the yesterday one with you and Robert Sala where you were when you were banging on the table, and man, those would be so good. Not because we want to see you angry, but because we know how passionate you are, and you're the only one that can kind of Jets fans can speak through and get the message out to everybody to hear. So yeah, you're doing great, Jake. Don't want to drag you into the sentimental thing, but you're the best. I'm gonna keep watching and I'm gonna keep calling in. All right.
Great call, football guy. I really appreciate the kind words. Don't say it too loud though, because then the people on Twitter will be upset. It's amazing to me that people want blind homerism on Twitter, but the vast majority of people don't, because we call it how it is. That's how you got to do it. All right, couple calls left here. We've gone over 2 hours already, but we've only done one live show today because I had to be up at 6 a.m. to get a flight out to Vegas. So we could extend the show a little while longer. I did want to give a shout out. Speaking of baby ass maniacs, how about Max Miller Lee, who I was told by mother Amanda that Max personally picked out his Asmaniac t-shirt to wear all around the greater Long Island area today. So shout out to one of our youngest Asmaniacs, young Max here, repping the Asmaniac shirt. Shout out to Mom Amanda and Father Joe, or as I like to call him, Smasher, for repping the Asmaniac community here with their adorable, adorable son Max. So we love seeing that. JakeAsman.com/shop, by the way, for baby or toddler sized Asmaniac here. Uno Jets is in the raffle for 2. Thank you, Uno. Jake, you're the man. Best New York Jets show, period. Asmaniac rules. Uno, you're the man, and you're in their Asmaniac raffle for 2 coming up.
Jet up. Let's go.
Let's keep it going with your calls. We had the big fella on the line. He just dropped off. Big fella, if you called back, I was going to get you in. Roy wants to know, how many wins do I have the Jets at this year? We entered camp at 6. Subject to change my mind. I'm probably going to stay at 6, but we'll see if there's any other injuries by the time we get closer to the season here. I'm going to wait. Because last year, remember, AVT got hurt on the Tuesday of before week 1. So I'm just going to wait till I give my official record prediction. But right now I'm at about 6, which would be slightly above their win total projection at Circa and all the sports books. It's 5.5. I don't know. So much of it is Geno dependent. I don't think this team's winning 3 games. I struggle to find 7 wins for them. I do. Because we could find the games they should be competitive and win, but they got to then win the games they're supposed to. Do you have faith in that? It's tough. More of your calls before we wrap. We got the big fella and then David T before the raffle. So get your entries in if you want a chance to win a David Bailey or a Jets jersey of your choosing.
Home spell is on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, spell is on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. Cause the show spell is on the bed. It's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the Jets, super Jets. There's a big fella, sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. But that's a big fella.
Hey, what's up, man?
The big fella.
Yeah, what's up? Great show. I have to talk about the Aaron Glenn stuff. I don't think Woody he may be doing due diligence on Tomlin, but I don't think he's a dead man walking. If he was a dead man walking, he would have been gone already.
Right.
You
He's still
know,
he's still the head coach. Like, but Woody's got to be prepared in case Glenn doesn't turn around. Hey, if we want Mike Tomlin, we're gonna have a ton of competition. We got to at least be prepared.
exactly. I mean, that's what I was getting through the whole thing. I mean, it was like, I think that, if he wanted to fire him, he would have been gone already. So I don't know. I think it's just like due diligence, pretty much. But how's Vegas?
So far so good. So far so good. There has not been much play yet. I literally checked into the hotel room and had to figure out how to set up some equipment to do the show.
All right, that's good. That's
The
good.
play will happen when I get off the air here. We'll hit the blackjack table.
Yeah. I can't wait for Nashville, man. That's rapidly approaching. It's going to be great. Beast going on Manjaro today. That's that's something, man. I've been following this whole saga. I've traveled today from Winchester, Virginia, back home to New Jersey, and the text messages back and forth about this whole saga has been incredible. It's really been wild. Now, Beast, you have to put that in the refrigerator. Is he on or no?
Ladies and gentlemen, here to talk to Beast on what needs to be done is a man that we call the Beast Whisperer. Now we say hello to the Beast himself.
Tweet. Stringing the cheese.
All right, my mic's.
Whoa, that was off.
Yo, you got to put the Manjaro in the fridge, bro. You can't let that.
It's already. It's still cold because I have a top freezer that this stays fresh in, and because the bottom part of the refrigerator is still jacked up because it's all. Don't ask questions. It's. Ugh.
So where is it right now?
Right here next to me. It's still cold.
No, it has to stay cold.
We know that. I'm going to go get to it right now. I already got a headache.
I don't give a shit about the headache. Lou B gave you 3,000. It's 3,000, bro. Okay, good. Go. Do it.
I'm exiting to go get this stuff into the fridge.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
In the words of the great Arnold Schwarzenegger, relax. You live longer.
I'm not the one who has to worry about living longer, bro. But
Jesus.
Oh my God. So, Jake, there's 4 of us that have been trying to take care of him, and we may need more. We may need more because he is a full-time job, dude. It's a never-ending thing with this guy. So, anyway, that was my Jet take. I don't think Aaron Glenn is going to be. I don't think he's a dead man walking. I think he has this year to really prove improvement. And, if he shows that, he'll probably get another year. It depends on what type of improvement he gets out of the group. But you're a fucking hobbit, bro. What are you talking about? Anyway, so that's what that's my take. So it's in the fridge?
Don't worry, John Bush. It's all you're in good hands with Allstate. And always remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Icebreaker 666. You like to call people virgins, huh? You think that makes you tough? Well, you're a sip.
I know I have gas all the time and live in an attic and shit in a bucket, but that can't come between us.
Oh, Tubby, the bucket thing grosses me out. Time to get back to reality.
Ha 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 ha, Tubby.
Good job.
I've had enough today. Today I've had enough.
What was that? Oh, now he's in the hole.
Shit.
Yo, we got to get this guy, bro.
If I had a BB gun, I'd stick it up his ass and tell him, you better back off, bitch. It's called you're fucking with the wrong dog in the yard.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Yeah. So, anyway, have a good day, Jake. I'll talk to you soon. And see you in Nashville.
Look, Tubby, You'll need to shoot this shit into your belly once a week. Try not to eat that much. If you do, the pain will be like your regular gas pains, only 10 times worse. Now get the fuck out of here! Tell Lou B he owes me $3,000. Later, Tubby.
I don't know what is happening here with this Nightbot stuff. Adam says, put 5 on green 0 on the roulette wheel. Braylon Allen, baby. Adam is too cool. What a super chat. Brother Yeti says, thanks for the show, Jake. Good times. Yeti, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you being tuned in. I'm going to do one more call, and then we're going to spin the Wheel of Champions here. So last call to enter to win a David Bailey jersey or a Jets jersey of your choosing. Ladies and gentlemen, he's rocking a Jake Asman snapback. We say hello to David T.
I got my eye on you. Jake, make me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
Hi, Jake.
Hey, David.
Hey, my dad would say, you're a hard worker, Jake. The harder you work, the better you eat, or the harder you work, the luckier you get. And as far as Beast goes, I'm a little concerned. You know, I'm not sure if this is a diabetic thing or a losing weight thing or whatever, but he's got to listen. You know what I mean? I know he's got people looking after him and everything, but you got to listen or you're going to be in trouble. And the last thing is, I want to be a little selfish. I'm going to the game, the first game, and I've only been to 3 Jet games in person. They lost them all, and this would be like a Super Bowl win for me, and get to meet you people, and that's where I'm at.
David T., you're a hardworking guy.
I did in my time, Jake. I work part-time, and I'm still a hard worker, and that's the way my brother and I were brought up, to be workers, So I think we did good for my dad.
David T., on September 13th, you will be at a tailgate with the Asmaniacs. You're not missing it this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna need. I think I'm gonna need help, Jake. But we'll be in touch.
Ladies and gentlemen, David T. Let's go. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Woo! Thank you to David T. Last year, he was in Tampa. Couldn't find the tailgate. We never got the meet. This year, that is all going to change. We will see David T. at our tailgate with Game Day Flight Crew. Sunday morning, 8 a.m. before the Jets beat the Titans. Let's go. All right, folks. Are we ready for the Wheel of Champions to be spun? We have ourselves quite the prize today. It is a jersey of your choosing. Legends jersey. Current player. Get ready. Now, to do this properly, I need the master of raffle ceremony to assist. The issue is, I don't know if he's ready for the moment. We're all going to sit back and find out together.
now. It's time, El Wheel of Champions. Geisha girls. At 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. El quien mente. Wheel. Let's go. Get a winner.
Thanks, you communist douchebag. It's time for that daily Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wheel of Champions is on the screen. 27 of you have qualified. Only one can win, but everyone who entered is, of course, in the weekly raffle, which we're targeting for Sunday. We got one last entry at the buzzer here by Mike Dems. Mike, thank you. I'm glad I saw this, but I was about to press spin. Mike, let's add your name here. You gifted a membership, so you are in for one. All right, we're up to 28. Here we go, folks. One spin to determine a winner. And today's raffle winner is the man whose brother was hanging out with Mike Tomlin yesterday, Jay Petito. Jay, thanks for the support. You're the winner. Give him a Jet chant, Woody. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Woo! All right, what a show. Big thanks to everyone who tuned in today. Thank you to Omari Brown for coming on and providing amazing insight, as he always does. We're going to be live tomorrow. The times will be a little later than normal, so be checking the channel. Probably we'll go live for our first show around 12:30 Eastern. And Jeff Parles is going to be among our guests that's stopping by tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to talking Jets with him. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching. If you are interested in more content, definitely join my Patreon, get in the Discord. And of course, we restocked the Payne hats and shirts. Another 20 of them are available. So check it out at jakeasman.com/shop. I'm going to go hit the tables, maybe the pool as well. We're going to join you live from Circa's Radio Row starting tomorrow morning. But I will leave you guys with a great clip. Sit back, bask in the greatness of all of it. And as always, Jets, 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 Jets. This clip is in honor of the fact that today, known as Maniac, Mike Greenberg is celebrating 30 years with ESPN. Enjoy, and again, go Jets.
I have enjoyed listening to your podcast during the season. I used to listen to a lot of politicals talk, on podcasts and stuff, and it has just become impossible. It's so depressing. It doesn't pass the time in a nice way. So I found your podcast, and I would listen to it a lot, and I really enjoyed it. And I agreed, candidly, I found myself agreeing with a lot of your perspectives last year. I was very down on the coach, and I know you got a lot of flack for that, but I thought you were absolutely right.
I mean, think about what you said, though. You used to listen to political talk stuff, but it was so depressing. You started listening to a podcast about the Jets who haven't made the playoffs in 15 years, and that was somehow more uplifting.
That's just how depressing the state of things are. But the Jets, I don't know, for whatever reason, I was scrolling through. I actually just searched one day Jets podcasts, and I found yours, and I liked it. And so I probably listened to 3 days a week, and I really enjoyed it. And I hope that the conversation is a little more cheerful as this season gets going. With the As Maniacs and all of that stuff that you guys have, and you're always, I don't even understand what the contesting is that you're doing, but there's something that one can obviously do to participate in the program that I'm not aware of how to do. Whatever it is you're saying to do, hit a line, come to a thing, whatever it is you can do to win something, I wouldn't know how to do it even if I could, and I can't because I'm driving the car while I'm listening anyway. But one way or another, I do enjoy the show, and I've heard you very mad, which I have supported greatly. I'm hoping to hear you a lot happier this year, and I'm hoping to be happier myself.
Hey, Asmaniacs, make sure to hit the like button and keep on supporting the Jake Asman Show.
That's right, Beast. If you don't subscribe to Jake Asman Show, the Jets will never win another game. Go Jets!